life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J. Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come through with that mind quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these hands tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, why the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life, baby. I got mine, why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon. Let me turn down my back end track there a little bit. Again, it's your nighttime, your nighttime DJ music. Again, of course, and welcome to another episode of the Chop Shop. Y'all seen the title. You already know what we're going to talk about. Recently, former President of the United States of America, the Honorable, the Respectable, Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief, the cool guy, old boy, the cool president, whatever name you want to put on him, chin-checked some of our some of our men, period. And for some ungodly reason there, ladies and gentlemen, he got pushback for it. From white folks, from black folks, but especially one lady in particular that was on CNN. It seems that all the men all of a sudden rallying around. We'll get to that. Let me jump over here in the lounge here and see who up off in this. ABT, how you doing? My girl up off in this camp. If you want to hit the link there, ABT, I'll go ahead and drop it. I won't really call this as they say, loose nigga roundup. By the way, give me one or two if you hear me down there in the lounge there. Hey, 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 give me one or two if I'm off in here. Yeah, I'm gonna fire one up right quick. Like, 'cause I got a whole lot to say. I won't call this, like I said, loose nigga roundup, ABT, but sometimes loose niggas don't hear you till you yell at them. In Barack Obama's case, he spoke volume to me. Because he's been saying with myself, folks like Big J, folks like Amari Brown, folks, several black men YouTube creators, content creators, as y'all want to call us. We've been saying this for years. Stop blaming women for your ills. And he pointed out. But see, the thing about it is slippage. Folks want to say that Barack Obama said that he was directly talking to black men. Well, I'm going to show you in this 5-minute and 6-second clip that he did not say black men. He said men. But because of how it's reported, and of course in regular media and black YouTube, he disrespected black men. Well, as they say, niggers, a hit dog will holler. Sure will. Let me turn this down a little bit here. Let me get on back over here. Wanted to check and see who was up off in there. Let me get back over here. I'll turn this down just a little bit more. It might be my speakers. I'm trying out a new system there, folks. As you say, some folks never upgrade; they just stay the same. You know what I mean? Year after year, you see them in the back with the little dolls, the little figurines in the back. All the name of the stream still the same. They rehash old arguments about women's and shit like that. When it comes to politics, they know absolutely nothing. So they'll sit around and tell you that they are a content creator. And then when you directly challenge said content creator, all of a sudden, you being a simp. Well, if that's what it ends up at that you want to call me, then okay, that's the best you got. Then I'll take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, folks, I got a clip, a couple clips that we're gonna go over. First, let me go back in here. Let me grab this link. Let me go back up over here. Grab the link. I don't know how to pin it yet. I've been meaning to ask StreamYard how to do it, but I haven't put it on my to-do list yet. I tell you, I need a secretary. Any volunteers? Volunteers. What's up there, HT Bald One? Listen here, folks. Y'all know him as y'all know my man is HT Bald One, but I know him as DJ Ed on Classic R&B Jams on Thursday nights from 11 to 1 a.m. Man, you rocked the house the other day, brother. Folks, if you're into the house music, you got to come on and check out Thursday night Classic R&B Jams. Check out my man HT Bald One. He throws on another cape like I do, one of them brothers that's multifaceted. But we don't have to go around and bragging about it, do we, HT? We just let our work speak for itself, right? We ain't got to get it out there. If you're good at what you do, if you build it right and you do it right, the audience will come to you. Some folks out there buying subs and shit like that. Then they have streams to where they desecrate women. But this election season is unusual for the manosphere and the SYSBMs and the men that believe that women don't have a place in regular society. They should be barefoot and pregnant. Like MAGA says, make America great again. That was part of great America for them, that women had no autonomy. You know what I mean? Women have no autonomy back in them days. And it's back so much as in 1974. There was 74, 72, where women were just able to have checking accounts in their own name. They were able to purchase land in their own name. Not only black women, white women as well. But again, it's been pointed out again that by some white pundits and some black folks, especially those Now, I can use this word loose nigger. Those loose niggas who was looking for a reason not to vote for Vice President Harris. They try to say that Vice President, former President Barack Obama gave them a reason. I'm going to debunk all of that. Because what folks don't understand is, folks, at my age, the over 50 gang, we are living history. A cat that was born in 2005 can't tell me about history. A cat that was born in 2011 can't tell me about history. A cat that was born in 1984 can't tell me about history. Because I've already been where you got to go. So I'm going to correct you folks a little bit on some history as we go along. Okay? So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get to the clip here. First, we're going to play the 5-minute and 6-second clip. And I'm going to stop it when I need to. I was standing up there for a minute. Let me lower my mic here. Hey, folks, if you're one of those folks that like to talk and walk while you let me roll my chair over here. While you do your podcasts and different things like that, you might want to get you one of those extended arms or one of those swivel arms for your microphone so you can mount it and move it around with you. You know what I mean? Or even if for you, HD, when you're doing your show, I'm sure you probably already have one, but that extender arm that holds the mic for you, and you can lower it to different levels. So I was standing up, now I'm sitting down, so you know what that means. I'm about to get comfortable up off in it. Again, folks, this is the Chop Shop. I dropped the link down in here. If you don't agree with what I have to say, we can have dialogue about it. We can talk about it. This is not one of those platforms where I'm going to allow any cussing and screaming and downright berating of each other. No, we don't do that here. Here we talk about if we have disagreed, talk it out. We may leave each other with the idea of agreeing to disagree. But that's fine too. But I'm not going to allow disrespect to anyone that comes up here and hit the link, whether you're for or against what we're about to talk about here. Okay, what I'm about to cover. All right. So with that, let's get to it.
Ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind, please. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running.
Okay, my first question, why not? Why not? Why isn't there enthusiasm behind the same enthusiasm we had when Barack Obama announced that he was going to be a candidate of president for the United States? Black men swelled with pride. We got out there, we did things. We was out there walking the streets. We was beating the pad because finally we got one of us in the highest office in the land. All of us was beating our chests. Barack Obama did 8 years with the help of us as black men. Before Barack Obama came in office, you can't tell me, because I was a part of this conversation way back then. We were saying we need something different. We need a change. Got to be something better than the Republicans. Got to be. As you'll hear, most black men in those in the days voted Democrat because the Republicans didn't do anything for us. So we needed a change from that. So we put Barack Obama in office. Now here comes the Republic again under Donald Trump. And he'll tell you black men, the ones that Barack Obama is talking to, he'll tell you black men that he had the lowest unemployment rate for black men in the history. And all you had to do, black man, is go over to Google and type that in, and you will see that that was an absolute lie. But you fell for that, and you ran with that. You used that to say, this is why we're not going to vote for Joe Biden. Y'all remember that conversation that y'all was having? This is why you shouldn't vote for Joe Biden. This is why you shouldn't cover it. That's why because he's not for us. Trump is a businessman. He gonna do for us. Remember that, you black men? Remember that angry man? Remember that BGS? Remember that Anton Daniels? Y'all remember those conversations, those so-called political conversations y'all was having that Trump would be the best for black men? Falset media. I'm going to use your clip a little bit, but let's let him talk. I'm going to try not to interrupt that, but well, I can't say that I'm not going to. But let the former president speak.
Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly and say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences.
Now, folks, if you listen to the news, if you listen to media news, or if you was one of those echo chambers called manosphere areas, you didn't hear any of that. If you listen to CNN, if you listen to MSNBC, you didn't hear any of that. Matter of fact, for the first couple of minutes of it, you didn't hear any of this. This is not the talking point. The talking point is he disrespected black men. He chin-checked black men. That's the talking point. Remember this. None of this made the news. None of this. At least not in our circles. Go and check out the black men that's covering this very same incident right here, as they call it. See how they're talking about it. I guarantee you, other than Big J, I heard his stance on it this morning. Y'all need to check out Big J speak on this also. Shout out to you, Big J. Big J XXX. Y'all know his channel. But listen to the brothers in the spaces that we all traveled in, which is this black YouTube space, how they're speaking on this very same speech. And you make your mind up of the two of us is right, and some of us are wrong. You listening to the former president of the United States, and you listen to a man that's lived on this earth long enough to tell these stupid niggas what they doing wrong. You talking to the over 50 gang right now. But you know what's gonna happen? Just like as always, y'all black women get ready for you, because I know some of y'all gonna want to put up your dukes. Y'all about to coddle these niggas. And this black woman on CNN, this former senator or congressman, she does exactly that. She coddles for these loose niggas. She gives them a reason to go on and complain. And look, there's some black woman that's cheering for us. There's a black woman that feels sorry for us. After the former president of the United States, as y'all want to call it, chin-checked black men, y'all black women went in there and softened the blow. Same thing y'all do on the YouTube streets. How many of these loose niggas have I called out to y'all women in these YouTube streets? And y'all still hang out with them. Y'all still believe that they're good men. You still believe that they have your best interest at heart. Y'all still believe that they are protectors of black women. Oh, really? Go find out, go listen to their political stance. Really? Go let them go to someplace other than the echo chamber that they talk in, that they know they have to cater to their audience, and listen to some of how these men really think.
Just had to work harder and do more and overcome achieves the second highest office in the land and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities.
Again, none of this made news. None of this speech, without you going to find the full content of it, whoever talked about this speech, I'm going to show you exactly in a few minutes, folks, where they pick it up at. CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all these news outlets, I'm going to show you exactly where they pick this story up from. Because you're not going to find any of this without this 5-minute and 6-second speech to know that it was a lot more before he checked Donald Trump. Y'all see where I'm leading to?
From housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine. And making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high and rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has
Let me stop that right there. That's on one side. See, let me read what HT said. You notice that too? There's not a whole lot of streams on that. They carry on business as usual for them, bro. They still believe in these black men still want to engage in the fuckery of YouTube instead of broadening their horizons. And I hate to say it, black women, y'all doing the same thing because y'all make up the majority of the audience. Y'all are the vehicle that drives these audience, and you don't realize that. There's some time ago when I first started this radio show, this radio station, I had some experts go in and tell me, did a comprehensive study of what I needed to do to get better. It cost me a little bit of change, folks. But I know I had to have somebody with an honest opinion of what I was doing right and wrong. And one of the things that they told me, without a female audience, I don't give a damn who you think you are. I don't give a damn who you think you are. You're going to fail without a female audience supporting you. What's up there, Devil Dog? Hoorah, Devil Dog. What's up, Joe? It's one of my devil dogs there. Another one of these brothers with common sense out here. As I see them, I'll call them out. What's up, Taylor? Hey there. One of these young sisters out there with a little bit of sense that be holding your brothers to the fire. You don't like when she call you out, do you? Huh, Taylor? They didn't like it when they call you, when you call them out, do they? They start calling you bad names, huh? They start accusing you, making accusations, huh? They can't get to you. They don't have access to you like the rest. Like they do some of these ladies, huh? I'm gonna talk some shit today. My internet ain't. I'm not on struggle Wi-Fi today. I don't believe so far. If I start borging for some reason, either y'all folks tell me. But as long as I got strong Wi-Fi, I'm about to cut into some ass today, on both sides. Because as I was saying, what we see in front of us is a product of some of you women won't cut these apron strings. Because like I said, this lady on CNN, you're gonna see her try and save these. And you see the same thing in the YouTube streets, huh, Taylor? One of us men will come up there and dig in these men's ass about their fuckery. And then you'll have one of these women jump in and say, no, you can't talk to him like that. He didn't mean it. He was struggling. How many women go over there to JP, Jay Prince's channel, and let that nigga operate the way he do? Sympathy. Y'all be over there buying that nigga groceries, helping him pay his rent. Ain't got that ding-a-link. But I'm getting off subject. Come on back, Obama.
Consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person, and you're thinking about sitting down? But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now.
Did y'all hear that? He said, I'm speaking to men directly now. He didn't say I'm speaking to black men, but that's the narrative that was put out there. And y'all just heard it out of his own mouth. Wait a minute, let me try and back it up just a little bit. Y'all heard it out of his own mouth. He says, I'm speaking directly to men now. And tell me if I'm wrong. Somebody put in a 1 or 2 in the chat room of what you heard.
Not
Am
just
I wrong?
for the communities, but for you as a person. And you're thinking about sitting down? But, you know, Cousin Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now.
He says, and I'm speaking to men directly now. But that's not the narrative that's being put out there. Everybody is pointing out the fact that he chin-checked black men. How dare you? And you're going to see in the next clip that we're going to go through. That's not what he said. But you're going to hear all these YouTubers say that, yeah, that's what he meant.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching.
Do I need to elaborate on that, or is he absolutely right? So far, what part of chin checking is he? What part of black men is he disrespecting, folks? What part of his? What he said he's not wrong. Y'all want me to take it back to the '60s? Go look for yourself. Go pull up some of the footage from the civil rights movement in the '60s. See who was out there. Go check out the movement from the 1980s. See who was in the front lines. Go check out the Black Panthers and see who was in the front lines. Go check out the Nation of Islam. See who's out there. So I'll ask any black man, what are you talking about when you say black women ain't got our backs? Is that it? He's not dark enough? Is that what it is, HT? Is he not dark enough? Or is it because he's biracial? It's funny, y'all hate biracial politics, but you'll sleep with one. Isn't that ironic? You don't like biracial politics, as y'all call it, because he ain't black enough. He can't really speak the black experience. But y'all go put a black dink-a-link in one of them. Is that the black experience you want them to have? That's the only one that you think they can relate to? So what part is he wrong about? The black women have had our back. We can go as far as the bloody summer of the George Floyd summer. Who was out there in front? Who was out there? And we can go back to when it was time for Obama to get elected. Who was out there rallying the troops? Ask Jesse Jackson who was his strongest supporter. Matter of fact, you always hear these folks talking about Rosa Parks. Well, Rosa Parks, well, she really got too much credit because she really wasn't the first one. Okay, she wasn't the first woman. She wasn't the first black woman, but she was the second one. The first one was another black woman. Y'all niggas didn't even get on the bus. And when you did get on the bus, you went straight to the back. That not stop him. I wonder where Rosa Parks and the other lady was going. To work?
Protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a question at all, ladies and gentlemen. If you call yourself a real man, if you say that you care about your family, if you care about your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, your uncles, your grandparents, the choice is clear. Now, if you want to disagree with Vice President Harris on her policies, that's one thing. But to say that, to fall in line with this idea that the woman is not qualified, Donald Trump is. As Obama said in this speech that he made a little bit later on, because this is a prelude to the real speech that he made. When did it become all right for black men to say, yeah, we'll vote for a felony? When they tried for years and years, if you got a parking ticket, it was hard for you to vote. When they put all these things in place, and they're still putting them in place today, for us to stop voting. And that's what Trump in his Project 2025 is doing. Or he's trying to disguise it under Project 47 or whatever he called that, or whatever this shit that is. But they're one and the same. Go check them out. See if there's anything good in it for you as a black man. But yet, y'all try to shit on this woman. And you heard some of the shit that she's doing for the, not only for black people, for all people. But let's continue on with our next clip.
Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group?
Former Senator Nina Turner destroys Barack Obama for chastising black men. Got some nerve. This is what happens when you run a campaign that's been tone deaf for a black man.
Barack Obama is back on the campaign trail and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like to, the link to Fawcett Media is in the description box. If you would like to go and check out his channel or subscribe to his channel, you make that decision. This is one of the clips that I looked at that I had the most disagreement with. Now, I followed this young man here, so it's not a question of whether I like or dislike him. I disagree with what he's talking about here. As you see, he came out with his opening salvo saying that the black lady destroyed Barack Obama. How? With what?
To Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. Coming up with other alternatives.
See, again, you see how CNN chopped that all up there, folks? You see where they started that clip up? clip that? See what they did? That message was not for black men. He specifically said, and I showed that to you. Y'all heard it. I played it twice. He said, the former president of the United States. Now, I'm speaking to all men. But as Abby Phillips just reported, as CNN just reported, as the congressman came on the screen screaming about, how dare he chastise black men? Why is he not talking to any other race like this? See where it starts at? And she's supposed to be a former senator. But let's listen to some more.
Alternatives and other reasons for that.
What?
So now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
He knows the camera's on.
Because you think,
of course he knows the camera's on. There's one standing in front of him. How could he not see that big ass camera right there in front of him? That's the reason. What are you trying to say, Fawcett? That he's hamming it up for the camera? Is that what you're implying? Let's read what my man says. Vice President Harris, Kamala, is one of the most qualified persons to ever run, man or woman. Hillary Clinton was very qualified, and even she's not as qualified as Kamala. And you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with that statement. Stack for stack. And I've said this from the beginning when she announced that she was going to be in the Democratic announcement. I said stack for stack. If you had a business and you looked at Donald Trump's resume and you looked at Vice President Harris's resume without any of the faux pas that comes with it, which would be the best candidate for you to hire to run your company? Donald Trump's record, for the many times that he's gone bankrupt, for the many failed businesses that he's had, that's on record, or Vice President Harris's record, to where she was a successful prosecutor in the biggest state in the nation, where she graduated from a college, HBCU, where she started the First Step Initiative. Her reputation and her, how I said this, educational background speaks for itself. What Donald Trump got? Like my man said, even going up against Hillary Clinton. Name me one other president that was more qualified than Vice President Harris. Name one. You can put it in the chat room or you can put it in the comments. And I can bet you I can prove you wrong. Name one that's more qualified for her, man or woman. Name one.
that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is.
Can't figure it
Putting
out.
women down? That's not acceptable.
No, that's not what it is.
I guess he knew the cameras were there. It was an unscheduled stop, but that message was so pointed. In addition to him making it very clear, Kamala Harris is not doing what she needs to do with this core Democratic constituency. We went back, looked at 2020 exit polls. Biden got 92% of the black vote. Right now, according to Quinnipiac, this is in Pennsylvania, according to Quinnipiac, Harris is at 78.
And that is the problem right now. The problem is it's worse than you thought it was. You thought it was a game. You thought it was a joke. You thought this was a close race. It's really not a close race.
See, again, they're misleading you with comments. If you're not paying attention, you're thinking that Biden got 92% of the black men vote. No, that's the total combined. That's what she just reported. It's not black men. And as we know, historically, black men don't vote as often as black women do. And that is fact. That is actual and factual. It's not numbers I'm making up. So what Abby Phillips just said was misleading. And this is what these so-called media outlets do. They mislead you. It's called television for a reason. They tell you what they want you to see. That's exactly what she just did. If you was not paying attention, you would think she's still talking about black men when she said 92%. And then here he follows it up with more misleading information. So as Big J said, and as so many other folks said, that's the main problem with these black men, with this age group of men that you see here in the bottom right-hand corner. Misinformation from sitting around in these circle jerk chat rooms for 10, 12 hours a day, listening to folks like BGS that calls himself the master teacher, that's over there telling you that Barack Obama should have minded his business. Like Angry Man, that's still saying, see what I'm telling you, politics is all just for the women. And you're right. I mean, think about it. Who was the other lady that the very first question that they asked Vice President Harris in an interview that they said that she should have had was what Donald Trump said about her being black. That was the first question that they asked her. Dana Bash, that's her name. Like there was nothing else more important. And what did Vice President Harris do? Brushed it right off to the side. That don't mean shit to me. If that's what you got me here for, let's move on. Let's continue.
And this is part of the reason. The tone deafness. To send Barack Obama, of all people, to lecture somebody when Barack Obama is part of the reason.
Well, who would you send, my man? Who would you send that would be more qualified to tell black men, wait a minute, what's going on here? Who would you send? Who would be the ambassador to talk to black men? To say, hey, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but at least don't vote or don't sit out simply because she is a woman, or you feel that she ain't black enough, or you feel that the Democratic Party is tone deaf. Are you hearing the Republican Party? Marjorie Taylor Greene just said just the other day that they cause hurricanes. Who the fuck is they? Have you heard Lauren Boebert when she said defund the National Guard? Have y'all heard this? Why don't you black YouTubers that find so much distaste from women report on those two particular seated members of Congress? You expect so much from a former president, but you expect nothing from two seated members of Congress. I was listening to a stream last night. Shout out to Ruby and Zell on I'll Be That News. She was about not to do a report on a particular. I said, no, you need to do it. It was about Marjorie Taylor Greene. You need to do it. Folks need to know what these folks are doing, what the time that they spend in Congress. Go look at the record of the 118th Congress and see how dismal it is, which is ran by Republicans, black men. Who's tone deaf? Who's tone deaf? Black men. And again, you're right there, HT. They really don't understand the weight that this man still carries, not only in the United States, but around the world. How people still revere this man. I can guarantee you this, if there was no term limits, Obama would have definitely won a third term. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. 75 straight months of prosperity during the Obama administration. 75 straight months of job growth. Because why I said prosperity? Because if you got job growth, you got prosperity. But as Fawcett Media said, the Democratic Party is tone deaf. What you say here? And again, but see, when you point that out, ABT, they'll say, no, that's farce. But it's history. They don't want to look it up. White women had rights before black men. How, I'll say it, how the fuck they think they're not next is delusional. I don't understand it. Maybe they haven't read Project 2025. Maybe they don't know that all these so-called things that they hold dear is what Trump and his cronies are going to take away. But we're going to get to all of that. Let's see what CNN is still doing.
Things are like this right now. Part of the reason people are making this decision, because he waltzed right out of office to Martha's Vineyard and never looked back. Never did. Didn't care. But Nina Turner, she got our back.
I don't know. It's because men are the problem
Men
right now
should
for
care.
Kamala Harris.
I mean, women.
And by the way, Governor Walz, according to Politico, is going to be going out on a men tour, literally a tour
Really?
of media to appeal to men.
They need to appear.
Really? That's not the guy to do it. I'm sorry. This is not. I hope that's not.
And why wouldn't it be? I can't think of anybody else to talk to young men than a high school football coach. You can go throughout history, and any football player or anybody that's successful or anybody that you might run into that played sports in high school, one of the folks that they remember. Hey, Zahara, how you doing? Oh, you're never late. Welcome in, welcome in. I dropped the link down if you want to come up and join the conversation. Feel free to. Let me drop it in again for you. Welcome in. It's always great to see you. Thank you so very much for supporting the channel. There go the link if you want to come on in and join the conversation. Oh, you're never late. But again, I lost my train of thought there. But so let's go ahead and listen here. Wait a minute.
Why they put them on the ticket.
Appeal to the needs of the voters. And so when I was a delegate for President Obama in both of his elections in Ohio.
Now, I want y'all to look at the white woman's face and how she's basically disagreeing with everything this woman is saying. Again, too many times, black women, and I know some of y'all gonna get mad when I say this, but too many times y'all call y'all sons. And I know it's one of those things that's kind of, dare I say, it's been passed down from generation to generation to generation. We still haven't gotten over that. I used to tell my sister that all the time. Hey, you need to cut these boys' apron strings. The real world gonna meet them one day, and mama ain't gonna be there. You need to let them taste defeat sometime. You need to let them hit a dose of reality. But y'all coddle them. And right. Is that a sign of masculinity there, HT? Always woe is me. He'll spend 2 hours on a rally talking about nothing. No policies, not even concepts. It's all about him. But that's who y'all want to be president. But again, back to what I was saying. See, again, even in the real life or even in the YouTube streets, I see it. Somebody will come in, like myself or Big J or a few other folks, and tell these black men what you're saying or what you're doing is foul. And y'all run Brockers for. No, Darryl Long comes to instance. Told y'all about that nigga. Somebody had the nerve to ask me, was I jealous about him? I'll still never forget that. That was like a bug flying in my mouth. Ugh. Every time I think about that, I got that nigga, really? Come on.
Right now, the vice president is down 11 points in Ohio, even though I fully expect President Trump to take Ohio as he did twice, but to be down 11 points compared to President Biden, that is a problem. But this other...
Okay, why is that a problem, Nina? Because there's no white man on the ticket. You ever thought of that? Maybe that's why he's down now, because there's no white man on the ticket. You ever thought about that? CNN? You ever thought that's why he's down in Ohio? Because there's no white man on the ticket.
Other issue I want to bring up is a problem too. Why are black men being lectured to? Why are black men being belittled in ways that no other voting group? Now, a lot of love for former President Obama, but for him to single out black men is wrong. And some of the black men that I have talked to have their reasons why they want to vote a different way. And even if some of us may not like that,
okay, if the reasons, Miss Lady, are valid, the reason that the majority of these men are giving, and you and the host of the stream that we're reviewing here, you guys are running cover saying that that's not the reason, but you have yet to speak one valid reason of other than she's a woman, other than she's not black enough, other than she put black men in jail back in the 80s and the 90s. Those are the only reasons that black men can come up with that why they won't vote for her. Y'all kept saying that she don't have policies, but she got policies. So what's the reason?
we have to respect it. So unless President Barack Obama is going to go out and lecture every other group of men from other identity groups, my message.
He did. Y'all just not listening. He said, I'm speaking to the men now. He didn't say, I'm only speaking to black men. He made it clear. He made the distinction of when he stopped talking directly to black men. But that's not how you want to report it with your big ass forehead.
Message for Democrats is don't bring it here to black men who by and large don't vote much differently from black women. And what, as a politician, we should be trying to get all voters to vote. And hopefully there are a few good men out there who do care about the stripping away of some of women's bodily autonomy. But this is wrong for President Obama. It is a wrong course for the Harris-Walz campaign to lay at the feet of black men when they have their reasons. In 2020, the vice president was labeled a cop, as we know.
But do you think, sorry to interrupt you, Nina, but do you think he's right? That some of the one of the reasons is because they don't like the idea of a woman.
It might be some listen, black men are socialized in the same society as any other.
See, there again, you always, she's steadily making excuses, but none of these excuses has she, folks, please tell me that y'all hear a reason. All I heard was deflection. And even when the question is being pointed to, is that she concedes the point, yeah, that is. So folks, all right. That is the reason. That is the main reason. They don't want to vote for women. These men in these black spaces refuse to be led by a woman, regardless of the color. That's why they did not vote for Hillary. That's why they did not want Tanji Brown to be a Supreme Court justice. And this is exactly why they will refuse. They do not want to. As Charleston White said, I'd much rather go back to slavery than to vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. Come on, folks. Tell me I'm making it up. Yeah, she got a 5 head. I would venture to say, Z, she got a 6 head. You put a napkin and fork on it and then pull out a tablecloth and have you a picnic on that man.
Any other man. So yes, is misogyny maybe a part of it? But again,
that is not the reason. By and large, if there is, it's a very small population of the men. A lot of men are making logical decisions. Because here's the thing.
Oh, really? He said it's a very small population. Folks, y'all count up the He-Man, I Hate Women streams that go on YouTube every day for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Count out the loose niggas that you know that tell you that women don't have a place on these streams. Matter of fact, we can go all the way back up into what, 2021, 2022, when they just started deciding, when black men decided to say, all right, it's all right for y'all women to come up on your stream. And it wasn't until black women started giving pushbacks to holding their own streams. Am I wrong? The link is down in the link is floating around there somewhere, folks. You might have to scroll up a little bit or scroll back a little bit. But if anybody can challenge me to what I'm saying, by all means, especially if you disagree, yeah, man, she got a 6 head, bro. She got a 6 head. She shouldn't be running around with no house with no Vaseline. Put some Vaseline on that and point her out there. You can see everything in the night. That shit shining.
Barack Obama. There were a lot of black men that would have been willing to vote for your wife at one point. Here's another black woman that black men might actually vote for. Senator Nina Turner. And you see why. She actually stands for something. And willing to vote for many other qualified women. They've just seen what Kamala represents and what she potentially could be and decided against it.
Okay, my man, you see, it's just the thing about, I don't get what these so-called content creators. You will get on the stream and say, see what she can be and what she is. But if you see what she can be and what she's done, what is your argument? If you're being honest about what you see, her credentials, the choice is easy. There's no pushback. So that one only lead me to believe in one thing, that you do not want this woman to be the president of the United States. That's it. Because if you're going pound for pound, education for education, policy for policy, name one policy, please do. Name one policy that Trump has that overrides what the Harris administration has done. Name one policy, please do. Welcome to the stream, Zahara. What's your thoughts on what you've heard so far?
Hey, how you doing? Don't
Doing
people
great.
realize that there is far more at stake than just having a woman president? We about to get the second coming of Mussolini, and they're worried about the fact that she's a woman. I need someone that's capable. And yeah, President Obama's right to question them like that, because what they're doing don't make any sense. He didn't already told you who he is. The 900 pages manifesto says enough.
Say it again. It says enough, but no one. They act like, I hate to say it, like we're just talking out the side of our neck, like the proof is not there.
I just don't understand it. And then it's a lot. He don't care about black men. He does not. Okay, he does not. And you are willing to vote for him, like you said. Charleston White said, well, he said that's crazy. You want to go back into slavery? Because that's really actually what it'll be. I think it'll be another North Korea.
And right. Why are you speaking on that? I mean, these folks talking about that they have no freedoms or anything like that. I tell you what, go settle in Russia, go settle in Korea, North Korea. Go over there to China and see if you can get up on a live stream and talk about the vice president or the president of the United States.
No,
go over there and see if you can talk about Vladimir Putin the way you do. Talk about this sitting president.
Talk about Kim Jong-un. You will not. You better not.
Right, you won't. They don't come get you. They come get the whole family.
Yes, and years ago, I had a colleague that was from there and told me, said, if somebody would try to do something to Kim Jong-un and they fail, not only will they get that person, they'll get their predecessors and their 2 generations of their family.
Right, they wipe everybody out. They sure do, and that is fact, folks. They make sure they wipe out any potential enemy.
I just don't understand why why this is even an issue. I just it really bothers me. I'm gonna sit here and hold you. It bothers me.
It does to me too, because I saw this first, and I think, nobody's going to report on it. They're going to try and sweep this under the rug. And as I saw CNN, and when I ran into this clip, then I saw what CNN, how they butchered the clip itself, making it seem like he was only talking to black men. But actually, I'm going to put it like this. Okay, there's a point in time we as black men got to check our other black men. And that's, to me, that's what Barack Obama did. You supported me. You said you'll vote for my wife.
So what's the
Why not?
backlash? I don't understand what the backlash is.
Right. What's the backlash? What's the problem?
And then the fact that she put men in jail and all this whatever. Listen, years ago I was a jail guard, and I'm gonna tell you, in the almost a decade I worked there, I count on one hand how many people who are truly innocent.
And see, and that's another thing that gets me with that, Z. They're mad at Vice President Harris for doing her job. What does a prosecutor do?
They prosecute people.
Do they make these folks go out and make crimes first before they see them? Hey, I'm gonna need to prosecute some folks today. Y'all make sure y'all go out and break the law. Listen, I lived in the Bay Area, and I still have folks that live in the Bay Area that was affected by, as they say, the so-called Vice President Harris or Prosecutor Harris putting them in jail. I didn't run into it.
Nope. But then when Trump, he made he took out a $75,000 pay tab for those guys to get in trouble, to have them executed for what they did to that girl. And they were innocent. He never apologized to those guys.
Again, and he never will. But the thing about it is, some of the men that were teenagers during that time, that could have been you, don't realize, or some of them that were young men during that time, don't realize that Donald Trump was not so much pointing out these 5 black men. He was talking about all black men.
See?
We can go all the way back to the 70s. I know I've done stream. I've mentioned this before. It goes all the way back to it. Listen, if your butler says you are racist, you're a racist. Who know you better than your mama and your daddy and your sisters and your brothers?
And your nieces and nephews. Even your own niece and nephew say you're a racist.
Oh, who know you better?
Your family. His niece wrote a whole book about how
wrote a whole book on how nasty he is, how he dislikes black people. What's okay? Say she gets some fame out of it. Let's say half the book ain't true. What about the other half?
And the nephew wrote a book also, saying that I told him, why don't you just your son disabled? He don't recognize. Just let him die. What kind of mess is that to say?
Come on. Your own son write a book against you? Why would his own son?
His nephew wrote his nephew's brother's son wrote a book about him, and that nephew got a disabled son, and told him, yeah.
Right. This is Trump. No empathy at all. No empathy for folks. You think honestly, black men? Do you think if his family feels that way about him, the way he feels, do you think he gives a damn about us?
Nope. That's a given, though.
It should be. This is a layup. This time around, it's a layup. My question is going to be to anyone who can answer this. Who would you prefer to have other than Vice President Harris? Who should be there?
Of me, who's running, or just in general?
Yeah, running. Who would replace her? Okay, the president stepped down. Joe Biden said, "I don't want to do it." When there was time to hold the Democratic convention, who should have been there? Hakeem Jeffries?
Yeah, that's why I was just been going to say that.
That's of course, that's what they were going to say. But the logical sense, other than that, who's qualified?
Nobody I can think of.
Right. So who would you put there? Her qualifications speak for itself. And black folks and white folks, of course, I expect that.
And
don't want to look at that.
Every president prior to him has some kind of political background. Obama was a senator. George W. Bush was a governor. Daddy Bush was a vice president, director of CIA. Clinton was a governor. Who else? Everybody seemed like everybody up until even far back as JFK. Everybody has some kind of political background.
Some kind of political background. Right. You're absolutely right.
This guy Trump got nothing.
Right. So again, I'm gonna give, like I did in 2015 and 2016. I tried to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt, but here recently, there's 165 unsealed affidavit of Donald Trump's crimes. What he did, he plotted to overthrow the government long before January 6th. This is proof.
And you know,
Not only that,
I want you to go back, watch CNN Election Night in America, go on YouTube and watch the intro, 2016, when it was him and Hillary. You're going to hear him say, I will accept the results if I win. So what that tells you
yes. Yes.
If he had
I'll tell you this.
Yep, she had lost then. If he had lost then, he would pull that January 6th stuff back in 2017.
Back then. You're absolutely right. He was prepared back then. They were prepared for battle back then. You're absolutely right. He was not. The plan was already in motion long before January 6th, folks. Long before. And Jack Smith has the evidence to prove it. And not only there's 165 pages already been unsealed, and I think maybe in another 4 or 5 days, the rest of it will be unsealed, and you will see for yourself because it'll be public for public consumption. You will see the rest of Donald Trump's crimes, along with other seated members of Congress.
How many pages is it? Is it 165 or is it more than that?
No, it's going to be more. The 165 has already been unsealed. There's going to be more that they're going to release. When I heard the report, that was 7 days ago. So that was like on Wednesday or Thursday that I heard that I listened to that report. So pretty soon, I would say sometime with it next week, we'll see that. And when I get to both of them together, then I'll do a stream on it. I know for some folks it's going to be boring, but hey, it's out. It'll be out there. All you have to do is read it.
I'll be tuning into it. I'll be tuning in. And you know what? Should he lose November 5th, he's going to try January 6th. He's going to try that again. I guarantee you, he's going to try it again.
I would think so, too. I think it's already in motion. I think they already have plans in motion. I do. I honestly believe so. I do believe so.
Yeah, so. Okay, well, I'm going to drop down, let somebody else come up.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you. You don't have to drop down up. You're welcome to stay in and comment on anything that you see or add to the show. You're more than welcome.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. Let's continue here, folks.
It's as simple as that.
Is President Obama and is the Harris Waltz campaign going to lecture other male groups in the same way that they're lecturing
This is not just
No.
about.
I don't think so.
It's not just about Pennsylvania. It's not just about men. It sounds like there's a concern that there's a broad problem for Vice President Harris with the blue wall. It's basically, according to the poll of polls, no clear leader, a tied race essentially in all three of these battleground states. You know, I don't know that this is because.
Unfortunately, brothers, they lined it up to blame you for why Kamala lost. They've done it in the past. They do it every time. There's always an issue with black men not doing what you want them to do.
I'll ask you folks, what kind of sense does that make? On the one hand, you're running around talking about if we got power, and then if we was able to change it, okay, you have a way to change it. You have a way to step up to the plate, black man, and get some of the things that you want done. But yet, you got this brother right here saying that it's all a farce. You're saying that they're tone deaf. I think you guys are the ones that are tone deaf. You're absolutely right, Z. It makes no sense what he's saying. None at all. Let's listen to some more.
For not falling in line. They're going to put this squarely on your shoulders. This L. Meanwhile, they haven't given you any type of policy. No.
What you mean haven't given you any type of policy? What do you want them to do? Mail it to you? What do you want them to do? Put it in your inbox? What policies does Trump have? You're saying that Vice President Harris and the Biden administration don't have any policies. Well, show me a Trump policy other than a concept.
No type of outreach. Nothing specific. For that point, they haven't given anything to black women. But somehow we're supposed to just ride along with this party line.
Again, he said he haven't given anything to black women. But if you go over in these spaces where these men congregate, they'll say black women get everything. Now, which one is it? See, it's just a bunch of word salad, brother. That's all you're saying. What you're saying makes absolutely no sense. Y'all will sit in a stream for 10 hours complaining about what black women are getting. And then you just said that they don't even help black women. But that's what's the problem with y'all with the Democratic Party. You're saying black women, the Democrats help black women take men out the home. Black men especially. That's the running argument. Remember that? Remember that? Come on, man. Which one is it?
Get out of here. I'm glad she said something, because she's saying something that we needed to say a long time ago. The fact of the matter is, this party has failed black men. Look at the current state of things and how it's going. And has there been any effort to change black men's situation? Right? I think what you realize here is that black men have been very patient. They mentioned the fact that black men mostly vote Democrat. That is true. That is true. They vote in line with that. But I think what's happened here is after election cycle, we've asked for specific things. We've asked for a black agenda. We've even talked about reparations. We've talked about many different topics, and we've been largely ignored. I think there's a point where...
Okay, my man. See, again, this is where it's easy to find out how wrong you are about something. If you go back to one of the very first bills that the Harris-Biden administration tried to institute was something on reparations. It got shot down. Go look for yourself. I don't have time to click and go pull the link for everything. Y'all got to do some of the work for yourself instead of sitting up on these streams putting out misinformation. That's the problem with the majority of young black men. Misinformation. And you're absolutely right. What is black men's situation, HT? I'm glad someone asked that question, because I asked that myself. What is black men's situation? What situation do black men find themselves in that the Trump administration is going to help us out of? Can you tell me? Falset Media. What's the black man's agenda? Y'all say y'all want something. What do you want? You say you want you say that black men have no power. Okay, let's look at the Senate. There's 3 black people in the Senate. 2 of them are male. There is how many black seated members of Congress? How many women are there? How many black women judges are there versus black male judges? How many black mayors are there versus black women mayors? The count would go, the scale would tip at the side of black men being in power versus black women being in power. If you looked at it the way it's supposed to be looked at, not sitting in an echo chamber complaining and listening to someone else bitching, telling you that black men don't have power. Here's an opportunity for black men to step up to the plate, so at least we'll get an opportunity or possibility of an opportunity to get things in the direction that we want them to go. But y'all trying to tell me the best way to do that, as H.T. Bolt said, any discrimination policy, because it's going to affect you too, black man. I don't care from 8 to 80. Any discrimination policy is going to affect you too, black man. And my running question to any black man that can answer this: what have black men been through that black women haven't? What?
Every man who has any sense wants to take his control back, wants to take his family back in some ways. And black men have largely, like I said, gone with the flow. But there comes a point. There comes a point when enough is enough, when you've been lied to long enough. The day Barack Obama walked out of office, I could not believe with his Black American wife, foundational Black American ADOS wife in office. He did not even address the possibility of a repair to her community. He walked.
Well, we know that to be absolutely incorrectly. Go look at all the foundations that the Obamas run. Go, just go Google them. Go look at all the good that the Obamas have done since they've been out of office. My man, are you aware that as much as we would like the Obamas to set policy, they can't? They're private citizens. Are you aware of that? They're private citizens with power. That's it. They can't make laws. They can't change laws. They can't regulate laws. They have power, but they're just like me and you. The only difference in between you and I and the Obamas is that they are public figures. Former president and first lady of the United States. But as far as any laws being made or any laws being changed or any laws being activated or being put forth on the floor, the Obamas cannot do it. That's your argument in a nutshell. No policies that you presented to anyone about Trump. This was a bitch session. This was I'm mad at women for trying to have power session. And I found a black woman that agrees with me, so let me keep her on the stage. See her? See this lady with the big ass forehead? She coddles us. She tucks us in at night. She makes us feel good about being fucking losers, about not willing to being able to step up to the plate, about another grown man telling us that we should step up to the plate and support this woman regardless of the color of her skin. But let's continue.
Right out. This is what we get with our first blacks. When we get our first people who get into office, we get a lot of lip service. We get a lot of hand slapping, high fiving, and no results. We're in the exact same position. I would argue we're probably in a worse position than we were the years after Barack Obama left office.
Okay, my man, do you listen to your streams or do you just record and say, fuck it, I'm gonna upload it? I would have restarted over after I said that. I would have said nothing I said made sense after I just said that. Let me go back just a little bit. Let me go back just a little bit so y'all can hear this again.
Control back, wants to take his family back in some ways. And black men have largely, like I said, gone with the flow. But there comes a point. It comes a point when enough is enough, when you've been lied to long enough. The day Barack Obama walked out of office, I could not believe with his Black American wife, foundational Black American ADOS wife in office, he did not even address the possibility of a repair to her community. He walked right out. This is what we get with our first blacks. When we get our first people who get into office, we get a lot of lip service. We get a lot of hand slapping, high fiving, and no results. We're in the exact same position. I would argue we're probably in a worse position than we were the years after Barack Obama left office.
Okay, who was in office after Barack Obama left office? Who took over? You are aware that when Trump took over, he was handed an economy that was great. And in 4 years, he ran it into the ground. Why? Mostly because he tried to undo everything that Obama did. Simply because if you go back in time, you remember that White House press party that they had when Obama eviscerated him and he could do nothing. Y'all remember that? How dare this black man embarrass me in front of all these white folks? Y'all remember that? So, my man, my question to you would be, what policies or what has the Republican Party done for you? And I'm gonna get off subject here for a minute. I don't know if any of you folks follow the Midas Touch, but the Midas Touch has been reporting on Donald Trump heavily. So much so, they even report on the times that the man farted on stage. Just 2 days ago, Donald Trump was on stage. He was passing gas loud enough that some folks speculated that he soiled himself.
Black men saw that. And they said, no, we're not doing that again. So that's what you got going on here. It's not as close a race as they thought it was, because now they're throwing everybody out there. You got Barack Obama on the road. But Barack Obama is the wrong person for this.
Okay. These folks like to talk sports analogies. I know this is one thing. They always bring it up sports or movies in their analogies. Okay, so let me do a sports analogy for you, my man. Say you're running track, right? And you're running a 4x4 relay. Who do you put out front? You put your slowest runner out first, hoping that runner gets a lead. You put the second runner out there, hoping that if the first runner gets a lead, substantial, you increase the lead. Third runner, same thing. Fourth runner, hopefully that either the fourth runner is way out in front or is going to catch up. So you're going to put your strongest member as the, as they say, the final leg, the final push, where you're going to decide whether you're going to win or lose. So who better to come up in the fourth quarter to raise awareness than Barack Obama? Who better to raise the troops, to bring awareness to what Donald Trump is planning on doing than Barack Obama, my man? Who better? Please tell me. Who better? No, Z, that ain't the word on the street. That's the word everywhere. They say he smells like Depends everywhere he goes. That ain't the word on the streets. That's everywhere. And in that courtroom, that's what a lot of the jurors were saying. When they passed him, they spelled foul odor. That's what the defense team was saying. It wasn't a pleasant sight. It wasn't a very pleasant smell when Donald Trump walked past them. Allegedly. Let me go throw it out there.
The nerve of him. The nerve of him. He ain't got no room to talk. He should have just stayed home.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, Shar. Hey, Shar, how you doing? Good to see you. I know you snuck in here in the back door over there. Folks, I'm a good friend, Shar Willie. She comes up and helps me out from time to time. Again, I always like to shout out Shar Willie, because without her, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be, as they say, a crime fighter in the streets. She introduced me to the YouTube streets. She showed me some of the pitfalls, where to go, and who to talk to. So, you would think he would, huh? You would think he would have at least some expensive cologne on. Yeah, say yay to Shar Willie. Without her, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd probably be still focusing completely just on radio. So, as a matter of fact, I'm sure that her channel's still up there, folks. You can go back and check out some of the conversations with Shar that she had over there. So some of them you probably will enjoy. I know some of it's kind of old, but I think they're still quite entertaining. So go and check out the conversations with Shar. Check out her channel over there. All right. So let's continue here.
He did his speech at the DNC and left it at that. Now he's out here trying to press somebody into what to do. These men have already made up their minds, whether they're voting for Trump, whether they're staying home, whether they're voting for Kamala. And I think this constant talking down is something that is going to have to be addressed. I'm going to come out there and tell them what to do, like Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, of all people. Are you serious? Until black men stand up, and I've said this for a long time. You can go back in my tweets. This is me in 2020. I know it flies in the face of popular opinion these days, but the sentiment remains. Listen to black men. This is October, so this is exactly 4 years ago. Because if you had listened to black men, you probably wouldn't be in this position right now. You remember when they were so gung-ho about Joe Biden? Well, look where that got us. Joe Biden even got so comfortable to say, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. You remember that? This is another one of those moments. So Barack Obama, like I said, has some nerve coming out here right now, talking the way he's talking. First and foremost, you've been missing in action. What happened to the My Brother's Keeper, Barack Obama? Yeah, that was your last ditch effort to throw us a bone. Abject failure.
As an old song back in the days goes, I'm not your brother's keeper. I'm here no strong, no weaker. Before you judge me, why not try to love me? I'd like to help you, but it's hard enough. The rest of the song goes on like that. A little bit later on, it says, you trying to drag me down. Another song, Harry Hippie. You know what I mean? I like to help a man when he's down, but how can I help a man when he prefers sleeping on the ground? Sorry, Harry. Guess I'm going to have to put you down. And that's what I feel about some of you brothers. You said, ask men, ask me. I don't go by red pill. I don't go by blue pill. I don't go by black pill. You're not going to identify me by any of those. You're going to identify me with common sense. Blue pill what? The very concept of the blue pill, black pill came from a woman. The very concept came from a woman, and y'all run with that. So, my man, I hope you go back and do a little bit better research. If you like, please hit me up. We can have a conversation on this Fawcett Media. I enjoy your content, but on this particular one, I totally disagree with you. You make some valid points. If I were you, good brother, I would stick to Hollywood media talk. I would not expose yourself as to be someone that should be speaking on behalf of black men, because you did a poor job. Speaking from an elder statesman, I didn't give myself this title. This title was bestowed onto me, elder music. So listen to elder music when I say to you, Fawcett Media, you have a lot to learn. Get out of those echo chambers and go do some research. Because I promise you, as someone just pointed out, you can pay it now or you can pay it later. If you think Donald Trump is the best thing for you and your family, go ahead and vote for him. But understand, there are going to be consequences and repercussions. And I don't think you're going to like either. Let's go into our next link.
Saying, you all need to try. I know modern thought has you believing that anything a man says is wrong. But think about it. There's a black man in your life that you respect. Ladies, why don't we try for once to listen to what they're saying, to listen to their ideas, and to listen to their reasons why, instead of assuming what the reasons are, instead of saying, oh, it's a stimulus payment or something that is making them decide to support someone else. You know, it's
okay, my man, you said it's not a stimulus payment. Well, the next clip that I'm going to show you, I'm going to tell you, you already heard one of the reasons why is because they don't want to vote for Harris is because she's a woman and she has no policies. And you said another reason why they the reason why they won't vote for Donald Trump, it has nothing to do with the stimulus package. Well, folks, we're going to take a little trip down to Savannah, Georgia. And why is Savannah, Georgia so important? Georgia is a predominantly black state when it comes to voting. Atlanta, especially in Savannah, where the population of black folks exceeds the population of white folks. That is a battleground state. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a random trip down to Savannah. Not by a brother, but by a white dude that's just going to be walking around the streets talking to black people about who they're going to vote for. My man, you said that black folks is not worried about money, and they're not worried about whether she's a woman or not. Listen to what's coming up next. No one test me, man. Don't test me, brother. Don't test me at all.
It's really disrespectful. That's what it really comes down to. And y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn to respect black men.
No,
that's all I gotta say.
You're going to learn today.
Who will black people be voting for president of the United States? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Neither.
I have to go with Trump, though.
Damn sure ain't no Trump.
In Georgia, black voters make up roughly a third of the state's population.
She hadn't been black until she ran for president.
The voters of Georgia will determine which party runs every committee, writes every piece of legislation, and that really means control of this country.
A racist asshole.
Today, we're walking through the streets of Savannah, Georgia. One of the most beautiful places in the entire country, in my opinion. If you've never been here, you should definitely come. Georgia's a swing state and has one of the highest black populations in the entire country. I think 1 out of every 3 people here are black. 55% of people in Savannah are black. Given that Donald Trump, Kamala Harris are virtually not.
Okay, y'all heard those stats. 1 out of 3 people in Georgia is black. 55% of the population in Savannah, Georgia is black. So when I hear these black men say, our vote don't make a difference, Georgia is a swing state. You heard Trump say himself, Georgia determines who runs Congress, who writes the legislation. So Fawcett Media, here's a time for black men to step up and put somebody that could help us out, but you're trying to tell me that they shouldn't. Based on what? Here's a chance for black men in Savannah, one of the most important battleground states, to step up to the plate. Let's see how they handle themselves.
Neck and neck, tied at 49% in the local polls. You could very well say that black people could decide the next president of the United States of America. So why don't we go in the streets and talk to them directly, see what they think. Y'all ready?
Trump, Donald Trump. That's what I like. Because Donald Trump done gave out more money than any president we ever had.
America, y'all check this out, right? And they're doing this.
The very first thing that the brother says, because Donald Trump done gave out more money than any other president. I guess he said, fuck Roosevelt, huh? Fuck FDR, huh? Fuck the New Deal, huh? He might not have gave it directly, but that statement in itself is wrong, brother. Misinformation. Fuck Kennedy, huh? Fuck Johnson, huh? Fuck Ford, huh? Fuck Carter, huh? None of them did anything for black folks. Only Trump. And you are older, brother, too. This goes to show you, there are still old fools out there.
Thing right here. I myself, I ain't voting for Kamala Harris. Not but what she did with Biden, but what she's going to do for us tomorrow.
I ain't never know nobody, now president done gave me more money than Trump. I'm 64 years old, so, you know, I like Trump.
A lot of people like to say Trump's a racist. You don't think he's racist?
Man, it is what it is with me. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Man, it is what it is to me. What it says, Fawcett Media? Man, it is what it is to me. That don't make no difference to me. So you don't mind being disrespected as long as you get a little money in your pocket. 64 years old. 64 years old in Savannah, Georgia, you have seen racism firsthand. Guarantee you that. Alrighty. Welcome to the stage, ABT. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in. Speak your mind. How you doing? I see your mic muted there. Come on up.
Hey now, how you doing?
Doing great. I'm doing great. What you think about what you're seeing so far? Your thoughts?
Okay, so I gotta Mr. Music, I'm in and out, all right?
Okay.
So right. But so they this man high as fuck, ain't he? What you talking about? Yeah, nigga. The fuck he on? So I saw something and I need to find the link where, you know, because this had been going around. Black men think that Trump gave out all this money, and supposedly that's false.
It ain't no
right?
supposed. It is false.
I'm only saying supposedly because
Right. Because,
I hadn't.
you don't have to, right.
Right. You know how people are. Give me the date, the time stamp. They want all this bullshit they don't even understand. But yeah, so supposedly he didn't. It was some other. Was it Obama? It was something, an act of Obama that made it possible for something. I gotta really, you know what? This is why I don't like getting up here not knowing all the facts.
No, you're right, and I'll help you out, no problem, because you're absolutely right about pointing out it was the Obama administration under Nancy Pelosi that enacted the stimulus checks. Trump was dead against it, but his folks convinced him this was a good political move for him. So there was an actor, I can't think of the black lady's name, but she actually took the proposal to Trump's office and spoke with him about it. So Trump decided, okay, hold up the stimulus checks because I want my name on them. That way the people will think it'll come from me. That was the holdup.
Okay. So a black woman.
Yes.
Said we gonna put this dead in this. So a black woman convinced him.
Yes, because it was a good political move. Yes.
And that's why he did it.
That's exactly. That's the only reason.
So they need to know her name. Okay.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Black men need to know her name and vote for her. Is all I'm saying. Because y'all they doing this all about a Okay, so a stimulus check is worth your freedom, is what you're saying. You don't get that much money.
You see, great minds think alike. Because as I was watching this clip, I thought to myself, okay, the stimulus check, what we got, one for $1,200. Another one was about $2,000, another one for $600, whatever. So you tell me you basing your whole 64 years on them stimulus checks?
Right, and I guess but the other thing is, so when is another COVID really gonna come around again? There were things that happened during COVID that was unprecedented. That's not happening again. That was it. They done figured out how to not bleed financially in a crisis since then.
Like that was for a lot of us a once in a lifetime experience.
Right. Right. And a lot of people are getting arrested. So if they're talking about the PPP, the PPP loan money, all of that, a lot of them people are getting arrested. So again, like how much money, do y'all think you really getting? Because they believe in bootstrapperism. You're talking about Republicans is coming to cut financial resources to any and everybody black first. Any and everybody black first. So why the fuck Republicans they're looking at you like you need to get a job. And you need to do it for 5 cents an hour. 5 cents an hour.
Project 2025, I was about to speak on that. Project 2025, part of the provisions of Project 2025 is if they find out that you voted Democrat and you have a government service job, you're going to lose your job.
You're going to lose. And then who was mostly in the U.S. Postal Service jobs? Who are the people mostly work in the U.S. Postal Service jobs? Who?
There's work at the post office. Isn't that what they used to tell us?
Yeah. Listen here.
Okay.
Make America great again means get your black ass back out in the field.
It's called you're going to work for the BIM company.
Right.
Have your black ass ready to pick
right. And it better be fair to Midland.
And they stay down in it.
Best to be fair to Midland, okay? Shit. They're finna take all your shit.
Right. Yeah, let's go. My man here.
Why are they so dumb? Why are they so listen? They talking about pushing women back in the kitchen and taking the pants and all of that, right? Where the hell they think they gonna be next? That's what they right. But where black men think they gonna be next? Shiny shoes, sir. You finna be a Pullman porter again? Come on. If now there's so much competition. If you can buck, if you can do it the best, if you can't, nigga, you out in the street. It's been tent city. They're gonna push y'all into tent cities outside of the suburbs. They stop playing.
They gonna be next to the migrants out there.
Yeah. Listen, and they talk all this bullshit about migrants. We got migrants in our town right now painting the bridges. Okay.
Where they at? On the live
Ain't
stream.
seen nary black face. They got migrants painting the bridges. These people ain't got. Listen, and I live in Trump country. I'm in a Trump country. Yeah.
Just the other day.
Okay. They want their, because if they listen, they want their low wage workers. They absolutely need them to be in the positions that they're in.
Yes, ma'am. Say that again.
They gonna want you to do it for 5 cents an hour, and it best be fair to Midland.
Okay, because
they already hanging black men.
Absolutely.
They're already hanging black men. And I don't hear them speaking up about none of it.
Right. In Henderson, North Carolina, they certainly are.
They're gonna get these men like this one up here talking, who sound like he on whatever he's on. Drugged up.
Let's listen. I know he hooked on phonics, so let's go ahead. That was funny there, Z. He hooked on phonics. Yeah. Let's listen to him some more. Here we go.
That man, you know what I mean? So if he is, I don't give a shit, you know.
Kamala Harris is the selection right now for the Democratic Party, but she wasn't democratically nominated.
She put herself in a position where she need to be at. I would take Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I ain't got nothing against this man. Nothing at all. Shit, I'm trying to ask for some money.
But I still mess with Trump because Trump put money in my pocket.
Kamala Harris, because we need new. We can't go backward.
All right. 2 out of 2. The first 2 black men he run into, what did they say? They're voting for Trump for what reason? They're giving him money. Now let's listen to these diverse. Let's listen to these 2 black women that he just run into sitting on a park bench. Let's listen to them, these women.
And our country needs better. Kamala Harris, humanity and peace. On a national debate, we're talking about somebody eating dogs and cats. Like, we have gotten to this point.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
And I'm embarrassed. I love being American, but I'm embarrassed for that to even be. And then let's talk about equitable. Convicted felon can run for the president of the United States. What's wrong with our Constitution? Where some convicted felons who come out of incarceration has to fight for the right to vote. We say,
black men, if you got convicted, you couldn't vote for anything. Remember that? That was one of the sticking points. Y'all was mad about that. Who overturned that to where, depending on what you was convicted for, you'll be able to go out and vote. The Republicans didn't want that. The Democrats made that possible. Well, even though you were convicted of something, if it was not a non-violent crime or a sexual crime, you were able to get your voting rights reinstalled. Republicans didn't want that at all.
Hey, we don't care. We're going to elect a convicted felon. We're having what? Attempted assassination in America, in the United States. This is not what we are. I'm afraid for our country.
I guess they've tried to kill Trump twice now.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay, so you think it might be like a stage thing?
He hasn't shown himself to be trustworthy and truthful, so I don't know what to believe. I mean, if I believe someone tried to assassinate him, I probably would believe that people in Ohio are eating dogs and cats. So I don't know what to believe, so I prefer allegedly.
A lot of people wonder how that guy got a clear shot of Trump so close when there's so many Secret Service agents, and a lot of people think that it was, perhaps organized by the other side. What would you say to that?
I would say that it's possible. I doubt it, because that's not who we are, because he assassinates himself every time he opens his mouth.
Oh, damn.
Why him?
You talking about a backhanded slap. He slapped shit out of him with that one. Because he does. He assassinates himself. To me, this is a cakewalk. Some of the stuff that Trump has said in the last week should have already disqualified him from becoming president. Should have already disqualified him from receiving your vote. Yeah, let him go through the formalities. But it boils down to when you go into that little booth, who you going to choose? Trump or Harris? Given what you've heard from Trump in the last week, you telling me that's somebody you want to run the United States of America? That will get on a public platform and say they're eating the dogs and the cats. That's who you want. So we're down in Savannah, Georgia right now. And as you can see, these two ladies are sitting on the park bench. They are speaking quite actual and factual.
They're sending a message. They don't want. Maybe he should say, okay, they're trying to tell me something. When you gonna listen, dude? If he's constantly a target, why?
The world is a much bigger place than the United States of America, and right now we're on the brink of World War III. When Trump was president, there were no wars. I know that Kamala Harris wants to support Ukraine in the war at all costs, where Donald Trump wants to pull out of the war. Don't you think that that's an important thing to take into account voting in this November?
Not really. My main thing is I live here. My livelihood is here. You can't work. You can't take care of another country until you deal with what's going on right here in our back doors.
Harris, you know that.
Well, I will agree and disagree with that particular statement right there. Yeah, you do. You need allies, and that's been the history of any country as far as we can go back. You need allies. So the United States is not different from that. That's why NATO was born. You need allies in order for us to have a strong country, just in case we go up against some adversaries like Russia or China or whatever. Of course, we're going to need help. Same with Ukraine. They are supposedly a democratic society. So, of course, their interests will become our interests, vice versa. They really would. So that would be the only reason I would disagree with it. But I would also agree with her when she says, we need to clean up our own backyard first. Two things can be right at the same time.
I like her words a little better than Trump. Really? I mean, 34 felonies? Good God, man, what you want?
A lot of people accuse...
34 felonies, good God, man, what you want? Again, like Obama said, when was it okay? When did it become okay to put a 34 convicted felon in office, in the highest office in the land? When is it okay to put in office someone that was summarily found guilty of SA to E. Jean Carroll, and then went on to defame her twice?
Republicans are being racist to try to require voter ID.
I think everybody should have a right to vote.
I'm going for Kamala Harris because she's actually working for middle-class families, working families. I'm interested in seeing what she's going to do for the next generation that's coming up. Her color does not have anything to do with it. I think I would prefer to have somebody with a little bit more experience this go around, a little bit more political experience, as well as just knowing the wherewithal of how politics work.
I like Trump very much, but he did get convicted, okay? He's supposed to...
All right, folks, I'm gonna have to warn you. Might have to break out your Evelyn Woodhead Spedredding course on this one. But I hate to say it, what we're about to see is an embarrassment. See for yourself. This is an embarrassment.
I heard about the green card. He never did a darn thing for the college student. But he is a rich man because that's the way Trump is. If Trump get in office again, he got to be very speechful and powerful to change my soul around to give him my vote. And I was very hurt. They shot and hit Trump in the ear. Don't kill he's still my ex-president. Don't kill my president. But I want that guy to get punished because he shot and hit my ear man in the ear.
The most important issue that she's standing for young people like myself would be the economy. It is hard in these streets to buy groceries. Rent is just going up, skyrocketing. And I think that she will do a good job at tackling that issue.
If I give Trump another chance, it got to be very Democrat powerful.
Yeah.
You's a good man, but you got to stand up to your morals, stand as a man. Too many people are fighting your way to get rich, and that's very damn powerful and troublable. Father, whole glory. All I have to say, God side.
I love making these videos, getting out in the street, talking to real people, getting real opinions. I also love hearing y'all's opinions in the comments.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Okay.
Did anything that elder brother just said make sense to y'all? Did anybody understand him? Now, the white dude could have walked up to anybody, but you heard Falset Media said the average brother on the street don't think about money like that. The average brother on the street is well informed. Well, we just ran into two average brothers on the street, and only one of them seemed to be informed so far. But when you ran into the sisters, they were well informed. Well informed.
In the comments, we'll see you down there.
She's the future. She's positive. She's got hope. I believe that we've had, 46, 47 presidents? It's time to give a woman an opportunity.
You look like you could be a president right now.
Thank you.
Kamala Harris. I'm for women's rights, and me as a black man with Donald Trump supporting white supremacy, me as a black man, I just can't get with that.
How has Donald Trump supported white supremacy?
Well, he hasn't denounced it. So they asked him several times to denounce it. He haven't denounced it. So if you don't denounce it, my opinion, you.
And that's all you need. That's all you need. One reason, black man. He has not denounced white supremacy as of yet, ever since the days of Charlottesville. That should be enough for any black man that so-called himself in the struggle to say, no, I don't want him. That one statement alone. He has not denounced white supremacy yet. Remember, I imagine there was good folks on both sides.
Supported. I think it's more black on black crime. I think it's a lot of kids coming in schools doing mass shootings. That's never touched. But all Donald Trump keeps screaming is immigration violence, immigration violence.
Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump.
Donald Trump or Kamala? When Kamala Harris was a public prosecutor in California, I don't know how many black men she put away for marijuana possession.
Right.
And is that an issue to you? Did you think about that?
It's kind of sort of issue. I have been thinking about it, but a lot of blacks are upset about that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big issue.
Nigga, please. Nigga, please.
Outside the government should be voting. And if you're not in the military, you don't work for the federal.
Okay, my man had me until he said that last part right there. Again, folks, if she is the prosecutor, if that is her job to prosecute criminals, is she supposed to go light on black criminals only? Is she only supposed to heavily prosecute? Yeah, I know when it comes to the judicial system, or where we receive the harshest sentences, we all know that, and that's a fair point. But when it comes down to her doing her job, is she not supposed to do her job the correct way? Is that it? Is she not supposed to do her job? Because you went out and broke the law because you got caught selling a pound of weed, she's not supposed to prosecute you simply because you're black? Where would she get that power from? Listen to this guy right here.
Government, you shouldn't vote because it has nothing to do with you. You know, my vote don't trickle down to me.
Yeah.
It just helps it should be trickle up economics. You know, as black people, we got to boycott something. And if we boycott this election in the next 4 years, Republicans and Democrats will come back begging for our vote, and then we can get something done.
Because they're trying hard.
Damn sure ain't no Trump. No, Trump trying to take away too much from us. I know they say Kamala Harris, she don't own up to these things and them things because she been a vice president under the current president, but Trump, no. I know he probably gave us that little money before and this and that, but with all the charges he got, if he could run for president with all these felonies, they did not even put felonies on the application. Hell no, it never was Trump when he got in the first time. And it won't be him this time. He want to take what? Medicaid, Medicare, he want to slash the mama income.
Listen, although the lady started off kind of rusty for me, she didn't. Wait a minute. Now listen to what she says. If Trump gets back into office, for those of you that have elderly parents, for those of you that are on disability, for those of you that rely on the government, all of that's going to be taken away from you. Or reduced to the point of you're living in squalor anyway. Listen to her.
Which is she on the fixed income? You want to slash that like about 20%?
Yeah, it is kind of crazy he's able to run with all these felonies. You know, it kind of seems like he's above the law, you know?
And that's what he think.
Yeah.
That's what he think. I think all this shit is a hoax with him. The shooting and everything else.
Yeah.
She had been black until she ran for president. She wasn't a black.
You niggas ain't shit.
Ran for president. A lot of people gonna say I vote for one side and can't tell you why.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like the other side.
Have you seen her different accents? She'll come out like in one time and she'll be talking a certain way, and then she'll come out another time.
She gotta get hood.
Yeah, there you go. Black Southern accent.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we gonna.
Now, hey Sharp, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Come on in. Let me get your thoughts on what you've seen so far. Welcome in. I see your mic's on mute. Unmute your mic at any time.
All right, I don't have my headset on. Is it?
Yeah, I can hear you. No, you're good. Seem like you're a little far away, but come on in.
Okay. I'll be ready in a minute. I just kind of got in, but I wanted to let you know you didn't understand jive talk when the guy was talking.
I missed that class.
Yeah, you missed that class. He was trying to tell you, it's rough out here, and see, and then Trump, and then what I'm gonna do, cause that's what I do.
Thank you for coming up and interpreting that, cause I had no fucking idea what he said.
Yeah, I know you need a little help, but give me 5 minutes and I'll return.
Sure. We'll take your time. And whenever you're ready, just go and click your mic back on.
All right.
But where was? Let me see. Where was I at? There you go. Let me push the play button here.
We'll do it again in 2024.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to speak on. Okay. What the young lady's about to say now is, okay, folks, I live in Charleston, South Carolina. There's different parts of South Carolina that you go to that you're going to flip the dialect a little bit. Part of white South Carolina that you go to, I'm going to speak like this. I'm going to speak my natural tongue. But if I go to parts of North Charleston or parts of some of the city, I might break into my in front you over there. If I with some of the words that I'm going to repeat, the only people that know what I'm speaking of are the people that live here. And I'm sure that goes for folks that live in New York. I'm sure that goes for folks that live in New Orleans. We all have a different way of speaking to each other as Black people. So when we go into areas to where we might have to speak to different cultures, we are adaptable enough to try and speak to the language that we are talking to, the people that we're talking to, if that makes sense. So for her, if she's in front of a Latino crowd, to say a few Latin phrases with a Latin flair to it, there's nothing wrong with that. Or if she's in front of an Italian crowd and she gives the Mamma Mia, there's nothing wrong with that. Or if she's in front of a crowd in Charleston, South Carolina, and she uses words that's familiar and phrases that's familiar to our area with that accent, there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing in New Orleans, there's nothing wrong with that. Donald Trump wished he could be as versatile as Kamala Harris. Listen to what she says, though.
Yeah. Then she go to the Latino talk.
I want to recognize Chair Barragan. Where are you?
I do notice that though. Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
you better thank a union member.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say I think it's the diversity in her voice and with her talking to different audiences and just trying to attract the different people. I think it's just to try to pull in the people who she think that's behind her. She trying to get them from the other side.
I say Donald Trump only because Donald Trump is the only president that ever gave citizens something. That was a stimulus. That's the only president that we've ever had.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Enjoy that fried shrimp.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a nice day.
All right, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Why you want to vote for her?
Because I'm a union guy, and I think she's the best for the unions.
I have to go with Trump, though. Yeah, I have to go with Trump. But it'll be cool to have a female president. Like, time is getting harder and worse. So, you know, it might be the firm, you know, somebody's firm sitting in this chair, not a feminine, you know what I mean? Like,
you view Trump as like a strong, firm leader?
No, but, you know, when the pressure comes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think he'll handle it before it escalates.
It's not a problem to you that Trump has been charged with so many felonies and stuff, and I guess like they got him in and out of court, and who knows if he's going to do jail time.
Man, look where we from. All this in and out of court, in and out of jail. I don't know that. It don't mean nothing to me because, like, you know, I done been like in the same situation.
Wonder where Trump got that. Wait a minute.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap!
Every time you run into somebody like this is why I call it loose nigga roundup. I'm not doing it. We got the white dude doing it for me. He done rounded up a couple of them. Folks. Did y'all hear that? That's why Donald Trump says, hey, y'all like us. I'm like y'all because y'all been to jail. Y'all been to jail. I'm a convicted felon, so y'all should vote for me. Get it from ideas like that. Oh, sunshade wearing it at one tooth. Next tooth 1 mile type nigga. But you can't tell him he ain't cool. Cooler than a fan, leaning up on the porch with his cross and his shades and his do-rag.
You don't think Trump's racist?
No, I don't think so.
Undecided.
Kamala Harris.
He don't think Trump is racist. Where the white women at? I'll give it to you.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Because that seems to be what y'all really want access to. Because for you as a black man to say Trump is not racist is absolutely ludicrous. Let's listen to this. Now, I want y'all to notice something. When he first speaks to the brother, he says, I don't have nothing to say, really. I don't have an opinion. But because he's sparked by this black woman, all of a sudden, all the sentiment that he had about Donald Trump just comes pouring out. Watch and see what I say. That's why I say some of y'all men need to be led by women. Y'all can't function without a woman opening up her mouth first. Y'all can't function without a woman. You can't function without your mamas. You can't function without your aunties. You can't function without your sisters. A lot of y'all can't function without your wives or your girlfriends. Here's proof positive.
Make things better for the country, our country, United States. And Trump wants to destroy everything, take away, taxes, Social Security and all that. And Kamala, I think, is way better. If he doesn't win, it'd be a bloodbath. And I don't agree with that. He's only for the rich, not the poor or the middle class, whatever.
We don't need someone like him that's telling half-truths, untruths in the office of the presidency. He's just not viable.
Donald Trump, because he's for the people, he helps the people, and he's very good with businessman, and I think he'd help out with the economy. Donald Trump brings more money to the money, like he said, make America great. And he's trying to.
You heard this clown right here, make America great. Now, remember, Fawcett Media earlier said money had nothing to do with it. It was just a small microcosm of folks, black men that think that way. But so far, every black man that he has ran into mentioned money as the catalyst to why they want to vote for Donald Trump. Every one of them said it didn't make a difference to them whether he was racist or not, except for the brother that has something going for him, that's out there living his life. He's in a union. Of course, as a union, working in a union, I wouldn't even think about putting Donald Trump in office. That's the difference between folks that do and folks that don't. Those that don't will always find a reason that they can't. Pointing the finger at Vice President Harris, pointing the finger at if Vice President Harris loses the election, they're going to try and put it on the backs of black men. Sure, we are. Why not? Y'all say we're the leaders of the community. Why not?
Improve America again. Border crossings have increased. When I was down in New Mexico, right after the Biden presidency began, traffic increased. It wasn't just Mexicans, it wasn't just Hondurans, it wasn't just Guatemalans. You would see people from the Middle East, China, and that's who's coming over the border now. Those people were given a quasi message to come by Trump.
What was that message?
Basically rush the border on Biden. Hey, the border is porous. Basically, that's a quasi sign to say, hey, come on in.
I ain't gonna lie, don't.
Oh, I thought I was talking. I had my mic muted. I'm sorry. Welcome in, teammate. Great to see you. Thank you so very much. And you're absolutely right. Black men are not the only ones voting. Sounds like a simple statement, but it speaks volume, don't it?
It does. And what I did catch while I was getting my meal,
Mm-hmm.
you said the guy didn't have much to say until the woman said something.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out because I'm a little late. I'm stuck in traffic. But I am laughing at DJ Ed about I thought men didn't want any handouts, so that was hilarious.
Sounds that way to me, don't it?
Right,
Give
because
me
I keep
cake,
hearing that.
give me
Hmm.
cake and lick me. It's what I've been hearing. I don't know how. I don't know what you've been catching and what you're not. And I know you're gonna catch the replay, but from the men in this particular clip, how many of them have mentioned money as the reason that they're voting for Trump? Short.
Well, I caught two, so can't imagine what happened the hour before that.
Well, there's been 5 men that he's talked to, and 4 out of the 5 has mentioned money first.
Mm.
When he spoke to the women, the reason why the women spoke about money is first thing she said was Trump trying to take away from us.
Well, did any of these men say how they're gonna get some money?
The stimmy back.
Oh, and there's no more stimulus. I mean, it's no more COVID. How you
When
gonna live
Trump,
off of stimulus anyway?
when Trump gets back in the office, he gonna put the money. He gonna give us a stimulus check.
It's
You
only
didn't know
one
that?
time.
You didn't know that?
It's only a one-time check.
Really?
Yeah, it's only one time. So you want to vote for a person because they gave you a stimulus one time under $1,000, and it's 12 months in a year, and that's why you want to vote for that person. If that's what they're saying, this is just my question.
Well, that's exactly what they're saying, Short. That's their reasoning. That's why I asked earlier, how much of your life is dependent on that one stimulus or 1 or 2 stimulus checks that you got. You at this
Wow.
the beginning of the clip that we're looking at now. All of these folks are in Savannah, Georgia, and again, Savannah, Georgia, 55% of the population in Savannah, Georgia is black. So of course, Georgia is a battleground state. So the black vote going to make a difference, right? We can go back to the last election. Every place that Donald Trump said was cheating was black neighborhoods. Am I wrong?
Well, now that you mention it, okay.
Every place he said cheated, black people was there. He ruined Ruby Freeman's and Shay Moss's life to where these women had to move out of their house. Him and Rudy Giuliani. But we're going to get to that a little bit later on.
Okay, roll the clip.
I like to walk things down. Let's continue. You hearing this clown right here that says Trump is going to bring back a better economy? Did you see what he did to the Obama economy, my man?
It's going to be interesting.
Trump kind of put his foot in his mouth sometimes. Some people dislike the things that Donald Trump says, but things that Donald Trump says is kind of true. So he's kind of a tell it like it is type guy, and people can't handle the way that Donald Trump expresses himself. So
I think Melodia is probably a KGB agent. If she,
Melania?
I don't know what her name is.
The
really.
Trump's wife?
What happened to her when Trump went to Russia? She kind of disappeared. Who is he beholden to for his election numbers? Let's say propaganda farms just doesn't add up to me, brother.
And a good point. I'm going to go back to earlier. H.T. Balt, you said that Trump sent COVID during a time where there was a shortage of COVID tests here in the United States. Trump sent COVID tests to Russia, to Vladimir Putin. Guarantee he didn't just send one. Guarantee he did not just send one. Is that another? Okay, the racism. You don't want to. That wasn't enough for you to know that he sent life-saving shit to our mortal enemy. That's not enough for you not to vote for Trump for? That ain't enough?
They had no COVID tests any other place that he could have gotten?
Apparently not.
He could have put his address in and got it mailed to him.
No, him and Putin and all them, they write love letters to each other. So I guess one of the letters, Donnie, I'm sick. Could you send me some COVID tests? Sure. How many you need? Send me all you got. Meanwhile, folks is dying, being put in freezing containers in New York. I remember those first footages of COVID when it started hitting New York.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Not as a free American with free thought.
Yeah, he makes a lot of people mad. A lot of people say he's a racist.
No.
You don't think he's a racist?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. But I don't think he's trying to crumble America. No. I wouldn't call him a dictator nor a tyrant. No.
Yeah. Lesser of two evils. Let's say that.
Trump, excuse me, telling people to go back to their country. Where's he from?
Trump?
Trump, yeah.
I think Trump's from New York City.
No, he's from
No. Trump is an immigrant himself. Trump was born in 1946, I do believe. His grandparents, his folks immigrated here in 1902. So is he not an immigrant? The two women that he married were not American born. Is he not an immigrant? Are they not immigrants? Or I guess they just didn't come from a shithole country, as Trump said. Sure.
Well, it was very interesting that he wanted to see Obama's birth certificate. Should have displayed his own.
Right, another racist act that he did. Yeah, folks just pick up and ran with. Or maybe Hawaii ain't a state no more. Same old playbook. Same old tired playbook again. And I hate to say it, but black men, y'all fell for it hook, line, and sinker like trying to fish for catfish. All you got to do is drop the line deep enough in the water and put something on it, you'll bite. Y'all run with that. That is another talking point that y'all run with.
foreign country.
Trump?
Kamala Harris, strictly because she's a woman and she's black. Point blank, period. It's important that the women get to choose how they get to, do their body, whether they want to have an abortion or not. That's very important to me also.
Any limits, or is it you should be able to have an abortion whenever you want to?
No, not just no. I don't think it's right just to have abortion, just to have abortion. I think just different circumstances, get raped, or stuff like that. Other than that, no, I don't. If you get a heartbeat, no, it's done.
Kamala Harris, because she doesn't think the Haitians are eating cats. I've never been big on Trump, but that definitely like confirmed my stance, because it's a blatant lie and he told it on national television. I think that's wrong that he's spreading lies like that, especially about a certain group of people.
There has been some
kudos to the young man. All the elder gentlemen so far have been complete disappointments. Here it is, this young brother. He says all it took to hear one lie from Donald Trump, and that was enough. It's not only that he lied, but he did it in public. So I'm going to take it a step further. If he lies like that in public, imagine what he does behind closed doors. Young brother can see that. So he just flat out told you, ain't about this, ain't about that. All it took for him was one time to say he lied. Let me see what do you mean, Miss Estes, Miss Music? I'm going to have to disagree a little. That water with black men is shallow as fuck. Okay, deep waters. I get it. Yeah, it is. It is shallow from time to time. You're right. Let me read this next comment here. And T May says, let me see what it says here. But she's not dumb for saying voting for somebody, but theirs is only a woman. You're right. I mean, if that's your only reason for not wanting to vote for Vice President Harris, then that's you. There's nothing I can do to convince you of that. But if you care about this country, if you care about the direction of your generation long after you're gone, if you care about the folks that you're around now, the choice to me is clear. It's not about her being a woman. It's not about her being black. It's all about the policies, and the policies that she's put out in front of me that I'm able to see tells me that would be more beneficial for me as an American citizen, whether I agree, whether that's racism or whatever. There's things in this country that need to be fixed. But I know one thing for sure, the lesser of two evils, like my man said, if I choose Donald Trump, I know I'm going to hell in a handbasket.
Right.
Go ahead, Sharp.
I'm just agreeing with you on that one. I mean,
Right.
you got to choose the best of the two evils, the lesser of
Right.
the two evils.
Absolutely, you do. I mean, again, not every policy the Democrats put out in front of us, you don't have to agree with you. That's the right. You have the right to disagree. You have the right to question. That's the politicians. Are they doing in your best interest? I can write last night what's the name of the I'll Be That News. When they were talking about Tiffany Henyard. She ought to be ashamed of herself.
Oh, she's not. She's not.
Right. And see, and that's another problem we have, folks. And this goes to female politicians and black politicians and male politicians on both sides. When we as black people put you folks in positions of power, and to see you disrespect us the way that Tiffany Henyard is doing, it's mind blowing. Why is she in jail yet? She needs to be in jail.
Oh, it's coming. They're working on it.
I wonder if she's gonna have a cell next to Puffy. That's another thing. I'm there. And you notice, Shaw, I haven't really got into a stream on Puffy too much. Because I said all I had to say 6-7 months ago. And that stream that I did on the 50 years of debauchery.
Yeah.
And what else could I add to? I was right.
If you like.
Right. Same thing with this. What else could Vice President add to? That she's right? if you choose Donald Trump, that women won't have autonomy of their bodies, that the price of insulin is going to go back up, that he will put a 200% tariff on John Deere. We're going to get to all of that.
Okay.
Thing like 10 million border apprehensions in the past 4 years under Biden and Kamala Harris. That's when they catch people crossing the border illegally, and the amount of people that actually get across is probably much higher.
Yeah.
Is that an issue for you this go around, this election season?
Yeah, definitely. I think we should secure the border for sure. It shouldn't be that easy to get in our country. I don't like Trump's attitude. That's it. That's the main one. I think he needs to listen more.
And I would never vote for Trump. Never. Why not? Why? Never.
Yeah.
Period. A racist asshole. Yes.
Neither one. Well, because I've actually lost faith in the government itself because of who's running the country. To me, it's not a politician. They pulling the strings.
What about you, man?
Neither one. I'm not voting because they don't have a candidate that I like. I think money runs this country. The politicians really don't run this country.
Yeah. Kind of feel like it's all a lie.
Yeah.
5 out of 6 loose niggas talk about money, falsetto media. 5 out of 6 loose niggas said it's all about the money for them. Even the 2 older gentlemen at the end. Hey, I don't have a candidate I like. Okay, just because you don't like a candidate, that don't mean you stay away. To do nothing is just as bad as voting for Donald Trump. To do nothing means you're complacent, you're comfortable. Let's go on to our next clip. Now, you heard all the folks saying that Trump is not racist. You've heard all the folks run around saying that the Trump supporters are smart, that they know what they're talking about. Well, just as this dude went around interviewing potential voters, the next young man went around interviewing Trump supporters. And you will not believe some of the shit that you hear. Big shout out to Mr. Robinson from Rebel HQ Network.
Obama said that he would like to run a 3rd term if he could sit in his basement and call the shots, and that's exactly what he's doing.
But you just said that it's Obama's 3rd term, but also that Trump is president.
He's calling the shots at all this mess that's going on right now and all the disasters that he's caused. Yeah.
But how is Obama calling the shots if Trump is still president?
Obama is sitting back and telling Biden what to do.
Well, what is Biden if he's not the president?
He's a bumbling fool right now.
Not a single American should be okay with where we find the state of our politics and how grown people are running around here saying stuff that if kids said it in the old days, we would tell those kids to stop saying dumb stuff. Dumb stuff. Yeah, that's the word, stuff. Because I can say so many.
Yeah, that's right. Stop saying that dumb shit. I taught you better than that.
Many more words to describe how ridiculous Donald Trump followers are. This person literally told the interviewer that Donald Trump is already president. Donald Trump is the president. And in the same conversation, she said, Obama is the president and Biden is the president. Obama's sitting back controlling him.
Did that make any sense to y'all? These are actual Trump supporters and how they think. She just said that Donald Trump is the president, Joe Biden is the president, and Obama is the president, but Obama's really pulling the strings. Let that make sense to y'all. You thought that was a doozy? Just wait.
Saying that this is Obama's 3rd term, while it's also Donald Trump's presidency, while it's also Biden's presidency.
We're losing it. You know, everyone knows we're losing it.
In what way? Can you define that, the losing it part?
I mean, we have documentation on lying, cheating, stealing, molesting China Joe's son's laptop, right? The stripper humper. I don't know if I can say stripper humper, but I mean, it's on his laptop, right? Paybacks for the big guy. Media prohibiting the story about lying, cheating, stealing, molesting China Joe's son's laptop. I personally was deplatformed for that, right? Just like with the Fauci virus, just speaking about the ineffectiveness of those clot shots. So you had a confluence of the media.
The clot shot, the vaccines?
Right. Well, they had to change the definition of vaccine to pretend it was a vaccine. It's not a vaccine in any traditional sense.
You think was in vain?
The work preceded Trump.
Well, no, but he was. I'm talking about getting the vaccines. That was he said we will get a vaccine.
Manufacturing a virus in a lab, you have a front row seat to manufacture the vaccine, don't you? I mean,
you're not. Let me just go. You're not saying that Trump manufactured. If he were to lose again, what would that mean for the country, in your opinion?
You mean if President Trump was to lose for the first time? He's never lost a presidential election. Well, he had a historic turnout. 81 million people have never turned out for a presidential election. Were you up on election day? Were you up when they stopped counting, which has never happened before, until they calculated how many fake votes that were trucked in the middle of the night when they were pounding plywood over the counter windows that are mandated that you have observers, and they pounded plywood so the count couldn't be observed? But Trump still got the most votes of all time. That vegetable that was installed in the White House to be Barack Obama's third term can't fill a parking. Look at these people. That vegetable can't fill a Walmart.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point.
But somebody told her what she was saying made sense. Just like in the manosphere and some of these other streams that we frequent from time to time, this is what they talk about amongst each other. And you hear them repeating the same things over and over, that Obama has a third term. That Hunter Biden is a private citizen. The same Justice Department that indicted Trump is the same Justice Department that indicted Hunter Biden. Those folks were appointed by Trump. Joe Biden purposely left them there so as not to give them appearance of improprieties.
Walmart parking lot.
The sheer stupidity that it takes to follow Donald Trump, it's disgusting on anybody's part. The fact that these people can show up in this manner and still be taken serious does more to end our democracy than it does to keep it together.
When they say, well, this is fact checked, it's wrong because it's taken out of context. Like when Joe Biden fell asleep during a live interview on television. Is this the video?
Now I want y'all to watch this, folks. Even when confronted with actual evidence that what he's saying is wrong, watch how he reacts to it.
Video that you were talking about?
Could be, yeah.
Biden falling.
Should I watch it really quick?
Sure. So
this is Washington Post.
So an article there is saying that it was faked, but it looked real, right? I mean, it looked real.
Well, I mean, I definitely wouldn't doubt that it would happen.
This is not hyperbole. There's a large swath of America running around the country saying and doing and believing anything Trump says, even when they think they got proof that he's right, and performing flips to stick with it. Great example is this gentleman dare I call him a gentleman, that said Biden was asleep on live TV and he watched it, presented with evidence that he was wrong, he then does gymnastics better than any of the American Olympic team to stay in that position and still say, well, it could be true. Well, I could be a butterfly. I could be a bird. It could be true. Instead of saying Donald Trump is lying, Donald Trump's cronies are posting false advertisement, these people will go to great lengths to make you believe that their falsehoods are the ones that are true. They'll say, oh, liberals are fact-checking them with liberal facts. Facts aren't liberal and conservative, they're just facts. They're just facts. And the reason so many or not as many liberal hosts are being taken down is because people aren't trafficking in facts on this side of the aisle. It is conservatives who are living and staying and dancing in mud and dirt and stupidity that are the blame for so many fact checks on their posts or their posts being taken down. Let me break the news for you.
Let me just say something on the fact checking. Recently, CBS had held the vice president debate. CBS said they're not going to fact check. They allowed J.D. Vance to get up in front of millions of Americans and lie because they didn't want to fact check him. So he could basically get up on stage and say whatever he wanted to. And it was up to you as an American citizen to decide whether what he was saying was false or not. All right, T. It was up to you to decide whether J.D. Vance was telling the truth or not, even though he admitted that the story about eating dogs and cats was manufactured. But this is who y'all want in the White House. A guy that ran around in drag, a guy that took a video of him humping the couch, a guy that allowed his wife to be desecrated, disrespected. And that's who y'all want in the White House.
The election was not stolen. You lost. Another piece of information. Donald Trump is not a great business person. He's a fraud. Donald Trump is not a Christian. He knows nothing about the Bible, proven in his comment to Corinthians. Donald Trump is not a patriot, proven by the insurrection he caused on January 6th. You too are not a patriot, proven by your participation in January 6th. More information to blow your mind. You're racist. And I'm Mundell Robinson. Have a great day, but not before you stop being racist.
I'm tired of what my people have done, what they continue to do. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of seeing people suffer. I'm tired of the inequality. And you ought to give a too.
Hey friend, white guilt and shame is a problem that white people experience because they cannot tolerate stressful situations, and they especially cannot tolerate situations where they're confronted about white supremacy or about race. So it's a form of dirty pain, which Menachem describes in his book, which is a type of pain where we are sitting in our wounds and refusing to heal them. So we are becoming cruel or violent. We are running away. We are just emotionally disassociating ourselves. And all of this creates more dirty pain. So white guilt and shame is a way that white people reassert their right to be white by just reprocessing trauma and pain and tension and conflict instead of confronting the reality that white supremacy is just deadly poison. I hope that helps.
And then because they refuse to deal with their issues and go seek help, the rest of the world have to deal with the consequences of them not dealing with their issues. Issues that's constantly making the sole of their feet itch so they can sit still if they are not out there causing mayhem and destruction, pain, suffering, and trauma, unaliving people. Is like something is wrong. Issues that make
I want to thank Ivy Anita for this particular stream right here. So far, the young lady opened up with white folks don't want to atone for their sins. And I agree 100% with that, because they're not. And that's the main reason why we as Black ADOS, or Foundational Black Americans, that's why we will never receive reparations. Because if you look up reparations, it is meaning to repair oneself, to repair the damage that you did to someone. In order for you to be able to repair that damage, first you have to acknowledge it. And as you see, the United States of America as itself, as a whole, will not acknowledge the damage that they did to Black people, whether it be from the time of slavery, whether it be the time of Reconstruction, whether it be the time of Jim Crow, whether it be the time of the Civil Rights Movement, whether it be the time of the Crime Bill Initiative, whether it be the time of the crack epidemic. A lot of white Americans choose to turn a blind eye to what was going on in front of them, just as many Germans did during the Holocaust. They chose to turn a blind eye. And now that their birth rate is underachieving, their death rate is underachieving their birth rate, they're in a fight for their survival. And if you listen to the experts, they'll tell you that any species that's fighting for its survival, whether it be four-legged or two-legged, will do anything it possibly can for its species to survive. If you look at the history of the United States of America, it's definitely a color shift. Look at commercials. You see more, how do you say this, mixed couples.
Yeah, mixed race people. Yeah, I agree.
You look at professional sports, you see more, whereas you could go back to basketball 20 years ago, it was dark. Got a different hue to it now, don't it?
Sure does. You be wondering, you look at the person, you look at the name, you look at the hair and try to figure it out. And one day on the interview, you find out that they're from wherever.
That's right.
Or the mom is this and the dad is that.
Okay. So this is the whole of America. Whether they want to believe it or not, it's changing. And they're a stronghold, white America's stronghold on us. It's coming to an end. If you believe in biblical times, it says that we were 400 years to be cast out. 400 years was up when? 21.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So if you're one of those biblical folks, biblical scholars, you understand exactly what I just said. If you're one of those folks that believe in, all the scriptures of the Bible, our time is here. Their time is up. But let's continue. And what I want to point out, but this last particular thing here, the narrator is not from this country.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are talking in this are not Black folks, but they make more sense than the Black folks that we've been listening to tonight, other than me, other than the guest that's been up here. Am I right or wrong?
So far.
Let's continue.
He has a target on his back. Like, just imagine how insane it is that as an African, you have to worry for your safety because you want to do the right thing for yourself and your people and your land. Like, it's so obvious how these people be operating that now we are even coming by non-African people, non-black people, non-white people who are worried for Ibrahim Traore, and they are sharing this sentiment on TikTok that we have to live in fear because we are doing what's best for us, and we are not doing wrong by you though. It's not like we're doing wrong by you and because, oh, we are in the wrong, we are worried that you might come for us. No, we are not doing wrong by you. We're just doing right by us. Issues that have made them deluded and have convinced them that they are better than everyone else and superior than everyone else just because of the color of their skin. That would never make sense to me. Like, my brain can never fathom that concept. This right here is the true burden of the white man, not that crap they were talking about in the past when they were talking about, oh, the white man's burden is to civilize the world. No, the white man's burden is their mental health issues that they've refused to address for centuries now, and now we have to deal with it. And how these issues that they have blatantly...
Is she wrong about that? The white man's I was talking about they're to civilize the world. Well, white folks, the world was civilized before y'all just became part of it. The fuck the pyramids come from? Was that not a civilized civilization? How about the Mayans? Was that not a civilized civilization? What about the Moors? Was that not a civilized civilization? If I'm not mistaken, y'all didn't even know how to wash your ass before you came over here. So who needed to be civilized? Y'all brought uncivilized conduct to the world. Sure.
Keep playing. I have something to say maybe a little bit later.
All right.
Let her finish.
As a community, refuse to address these same issues. The most of them can't even agree or accept that these issues exist, but they do, right? And they are affecting us negatively. But it seems a few of them have actually started to self-reflect and talk about these issues. So without further ado, I have a few videos on here that I want us to check out and react to. So let's let those clips roll.
If I sound really angry and I have a heavy energy right now when I make this TikTok, I can't help it. Something happened in Texas, in a Texas school, elementary school to be exact. Just happened. As the school was getting ready for its school year and teachers and admin were hanging up all kinds of welcoming posters and stuff on the walls. One of the posters was a picture of two hands holding onto each other. It didn't show the children, just their hands hanging onto each other. One was a black hand and one was a white hand. And some parents called and complained and said that that was politicizing and that it needed to come down.
I want you to think about what she just said. There was a hand of a black child and a white child. And I'm sure if any of you have children, if you're going to a daycare or if you're going to places where they sell children's toys and stuff like that, you have probably seen this particular placard. It's just showing that it doesn't show the kids, it just shows their hands holding together. And some people found that offensive, like the daddy that his daughter was about to walk across the stage and he didn't want the daughter to touch the black school official's hand, so he busted up in the middle of them and drugged the man away. And you can hear the guy in the background said, "Hey, get your hands off me." But then you hear folks like Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, and these loose niggas that we've been talking with tonight about tonight say there's no such thing as racism, that Donald Trump ain't a racist. I'll be damned. But listen to this.
And the trustee of that school on the school board said, "I agree. That's politicizing and that needs to come down." The picture of a black child and a white child holding hands needed to come down. I want everybody to pause for a second and think about this. And when this trustee was asked, well, what about all of the Bible verses that are now being hung around this public school? Isn't that politicizing? She refused to answer. I highly recommend, if you have not found on TikTok, conveniently, an 8-part presentation by Dr. Joy Angela DeGroy. I hope I said
Dr. Joy Angela DeGroy. If you go on to my platform, if you go on to my channel, probably about maybe 6 months ago or so ago, I did a stream about the good doctor. No one listen. Like I said, it's not how many you shoot, it's who you shoot. But it's funny, when I talked about this particular thing, folks, somebody sent me and said, no, that she's a crackpot. She's one of those race baiters. Well, here's a white woman telling you that you go and check out this 8-volume stream. And I suggest that you do. Go over to her channel and just start listening. And you'll see exactly what she's talking about. She's going to bring up something that I covered. And you'll see when we get to it.
her name correctly. And it's called the Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. I highly recommend you take the time to watch it.
Me too.
In one of the parts, it talks about a law that was passed. It was passed as a result of slave owners that beat their slaves to death because they didn't follow instructions. Do you know how hard it is to beat somebody until they die? What kind of rage has to be inside that person, and how much they are dehumanizing that beautiful soul in front of them?
Oh, but there's more. Should I say it, sure, or should I let her say it?
You can do it before or after, but make sure you do it.
Again, because I might not be college educated, but I'm a man that thinks. I like to go around and read about different things. And I heard about this thing called the Casual Killing Act at some point in time. So I went and looked up about it. And you know what the Casual Killing Act was made for? It was the white slave owner wives that was killing the children, the children that was being born from them from the slave women. So they created this law that if a slave looked or said a certain thing, that it was okay to beat that slave to death. But what the white lady's not saying first, and I think this is maybe just as a buildup, so like in the all damn moment, he's talking about children. They're talking about white women beating children to death. How mad do you have to be? How disgusted you have to be to literally beat a child to death because it looked at you the wrong way, or he or she didn't understand what you said, and you took that as a sign of disrespect, so you beat the child to death, knowing the real reason why you beat the child to death is because your overseer or your slave owning husband then went in the barn at night and got him a belly warmer. And you're right. Speaking on that, HT, kids don't care about race until it's taught. That's not something that you come out the womb having. That is a learned experience. Just like passing a recipe down from your grandmother, just like some of the things that your grand folks taught you, they teach you good and they teach you bad too. So the same way I pass on shit down to my sons, they pass shit down onto their sons too. Donald Trump did. But the Casual Killing Act, folks, this is what she's talking about.
They passed a law that said, should this happen, that a slave not follow instructions and they are beat to death by their white slave owner, That slave owner cannot be held responsible. They cannot be convicted. They cannot be charged. They cannot be made to feel bad whatsoever because it was 100% the slave's fault. Okay? Do you want to know why I'm bringing that up? Because when you take a look at all these white nationalist evangelical Republicans today, including those on Moms for Liberty taking over these school boards, and you see their coldness, the steel coldness in their eyes when people come in and cry and plead and try to have fruitful conversation and get them to see the error of their ways when they behave like this, it's because according to Dr. DeGroy, most of the beatings until the slaves were killed were by white women beating black children to death. I want you to take that in so you understand, everybody understands what we're really dealing with here. There's not just segregation being attempted here. There's segregation reverting back to the kind of dominion white evangelicals had over every person with any kind of pigment. Okay? That's what's happening. So whatever was in those women's cold, dead hearts when they sat there beating these black children to death for not following instructions, that kind of DNA, whatever that evilness is what has infected the white evangelical Republican movement today. I said what I said.
She said what she said. And you know why she could say that with ease and why I could say it with ease? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene said it herself. She was on a conference with white nationalists and said that she is a proud white nationalist. White nationality is nothing wrong with that. It's becoming commonplace. You hear these senators and these congressmen say it out loud now. They're not quiet about it anymore. Lindsey Graham, Louis Goldberg, Jim Jordan, Ron DeSantis, the list goes on. Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, the list goes on. The guy from what's his name? Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton. The list goes on of these so-called white evangelicals that think that they have total autonomy, not over women, but everybody. And that's what they mean by making America great again. Because at that point in time, for them, America was great because they could beat someone to death and nothing would happen to them. Simply because another white person passed a law that said it was okay to beat one of our children to death. What is the difference between the casual killing act of 18 something, of 17 something, 18 something, than us watching George Floyd being murdered in the street? Than us seeing the lady get her, and I'm sorry to sound blunt about this, but Sandra Massey getting her head blown off because somebody said to her, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." But Walter Scott was gunned down because he owed some back child support. Where Tamir Rice was ran down, a child, and shot. And his murderer was allowed to go out and sell Skittles as a prize. Tamir Rice, 8 years old, playing with a toy gun in the park. His sister hears a shot, seeing her brother dead, runs across. Instead of offering assistance to the girl, they tackle her and put her in handcuffs. And you dumb ass loose niggas want to vote for Trump. When he said, give the death penalty to the Central Park Five. Well, you know who else was killing folks at that same time? The dude in Florida. Go find out the timeline of Ted Bundy. Why didn't Donald Trump call for the death penalty for them dudes? Why did nobody call for the death penalty of the dude that had black men in their pots, in his pots? Don't give me this shit that racism is dead. Don't give me this shit that Kamala Harris ain't black. Don't give me this shit that Donald Trump is a better choice for black men. You young black men, you older black men, especially the ones that we saw in the stream that talk like that, you need to be taken out back and flogged. Because you was the niggas that was hiding in the shit. I ain't going out there. You was the niggas that was turning around saying, no, white folks say we can't go there. Now you're just old. You young shade tree niggas sitting around, the best thing that you got to offer is some tallywhacker and how much what level you are on your latest NBA franchise. And one of the most prominent black men that some of you folks will ever know in your life or have the experience to ever talk to or be around attempted to give you guys some elderly advice, and you niggas run around like he just kicked you in your balls. Donald Trump is kicking you in your balls every day, calling our black women idiots, stupid. Said Whoopi Goldberg is probably one of the dumbest. He damn near called Sonny Hostra a bitch. But y'all want to vote for him. Miss me with that.
And the woman, I can't think of her name. He said she was James Brown.
Maxine Waters. Yes.
Yes.
He told the four voted seated members of Congress that got voted in to go back to their country. Remember the squad?
You know what? This is their white Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
If you want to break it down to that level, sure, you can.
Ah.
If you want to break it down to that, if you want to break it down to that analogy, you absolutely can. And you're absolutely right, HT. The inmates have been running the asylum for too fucking long. Donald Trump said when he took office, he was going to drain the swamp. He was going to bring the best folks in to do the best job. Name me one of the best folks that he's brought in. Anybody got one?
Shoot it. And all I can tell you is everyone he did bring in, he fired them. So
He fired him.
Must not been that good.
Fired. Right. Right. Military general saying that the man desecrated the military in front of them. But because we as military, we understand we have a certain allegiance and a certain loyalty. Sometimes we have to take orders and sometimes we have to take shit that we don't like. So I can imagine General Milley sitting there listening to Donald Trump disrespect his life's work and could not do anything about it. I was on a TikTok video stream the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The dude was he was a Trump supporter, and I asked him. I was surprised that he allowed me to come up, and I asked him. I said, "So, it was okay for Donald Trump to accept this Purple Heart?" He said, "Yeah, because it was given to him, regardless whether he was a draft dodger or not." Huh? That's who y'all want as the president of the United States. A misogynist, a racist, a draft dodger, an insurrectionist. 4 things that I said to you right there, which should be enough to sway your vote. I wouldn't give a damn if Vice President Kamala Harris had horns grown out her head. It's better. Some of you niggas talking about it. I hate to say this, but I got to bring this point up, Sean. Last night I heard your partner over there from I'll Be That News said he couldn't fathom Vice President Harris being the president because Montel Williams hit that. Huh?
Okay.
The look on his co-host's face when he said that, I was like, oh shit. I can't believe it. So we should base her record on who she possibly dated 30, 40 years ago.
I wouldn't say it out loud, but those of you all that knows Koja, I think her name is Koja Mac or Koja Milk.
Koja Malik. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's something she says with that accent, and I love it. And she says, I'm going to give you a hint. If you know, you know.
Uh-huh.
Men need to stay out of our private area. And that's just too much of a concern for a lot of men. What we did with it, who we did it with, it's just too much of a concern. So
you were too much. I know exactly what you're saying because I've heard her say it several times.
Yeah.
So I know exactly who you're talking about. Basically, what she say, this fellas, stop worrying about who she give it to. That ain't your business.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And from my own personal experience as a man, you cannot measure how much coochie a woman give away.
Nope. And when she walked down the street, you see and you're interested in her, that's the last thing on your mind. So stop playing.
I wonder if she gave somebody else some. Nigga, if you're 40 years old, chances are she probably has.
Now what?
Now what? That's gonna stop you? Me, experience is the best teacher. That's all I'm saying about that. I'm gonna leave that one right there. Sure, I'm at the 3-hour mark here. Anything that we talked about tonight you want to cover or reiterate?
Well, I'm a little shocked that it came to me that Trump is the white Kevin Samuels. That that kind of scared me a little bit, but that just came to me.
It's going to be a revelation.
And there is a gentleman. His name is Native Tribe. And he said something during the debate. He was on another channel and I was watching it. And he said, and I'm not going to be able to say it as eloquently as he did, but what he said was, when it comes down to politics, that's something that you kind of have to be a little studied in to be able to discuss it. And Donald Trump made it possible for people. He didn't say low IQ. He said people that are a bit silly, ignorant, to be able to get involved. And that's why Donald Trump has the popularity that he has.
Well, you said it. I'm sure he said it eloquently. And one thing I've always said about you, you always say things in a nice way. So I'm gonna say it like this: you niggas is dumb. That's who he's talking about, because Donald Trump said it himself. He said, if I was to run for president, I would run as a Republican. And the person asked him, well, why would you run as a Republican? Because they some of the stupidest voters on the planet. They'll fall for anything.
Dang.
That was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Is he wrong?
Wow. Ooh-wee.
I think he might have said, I think that's from an Oprah Winfrey clip, folks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you want to check it out, I do believe it's one time that he was on the Oprah Winfrey show. Yeah, he said that. That's just like another time. Before we get out of here, sure, I'll say this. Black men, I think, as I said in one of my other streams, black men started rocking with Trump when he uttered these words. If I died, I'd wanted to come back as an educated black man. And for some ungodly reason, black men took that as a compliment. Without listening to the rest of the stream as to why he would want to come back as a black man, he said, and I'll fill you in, the reason why he wanted to become a black man because we get everything handed to us. Affirmative action. If a well-educated white man and a well-educated black man goes up for the same job, the white man doesn't have a chance. That's why if something would have happened to me, I would want to come back as an educated black man to start all over because I would get everything handed to me that I needed. Donald Trump, you're an uneducated white man and you still got everything handed to you.
From the family.
Argue that point, fellas. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in. Again, I got one of my great DJs down in the chat room there, HT Baldwin. He's live on Thursday nights from 11 to 1 a.m. If you're a house music aficionado, I tell you what, my man does a mix flawless.
Yes.
HT, flawless, brother.
Yep. I be trying to guess what the next song is because he mixes it so well. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that Crystal Waters? Next thing I know, da da dee da da da.
Right.
He's good. He's really good.
Right, you are absolutely one. You are your craft is on point, bro. Your craft is absolutely on point. And Shar, you've listened to his shows. I tell you, I know you don't come into the chat room, HT. But you know you got a nice audience, bro. So keep up doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we be cheering you on in the chat room. Come on in.
Yeah, right. Come on in, because we hang out in the chat room and listen to you from time to time. Of course, my man Dreadhead said he's on before you. You know, he's a house music cat too. So when he gives you kudos to your stream, you on point, bro. You on point. So I appreciate you joining the team again. I'm on Sunday nights from 8 to 11 with play a little different variety of music from decades. I don't particularly play one style of music. I like to take some requests and play some oldies, some new school, old school, independent artists. So it's a pretty good show, I think. And then on Monday, I bring the doctor. I put on my white coat and I turn into the doctor, Dr. Love.
Show you
So
right.
if you folks, I break out my Barry White voice. So if you folks have some relationship issues or some questions, or if you want to have a shout out to your special loved one or a song that you want to dedicate to them on air, all my links are down in the description over there. You can leave a message with me on Facebook or hit me up directly. There's a link in the chat room. The live chat room that's up at the top that says request. If you click that link, it'll take you to a request space where you can type it in with your message, or you can send it to me via email, which the email is also connected to the site as well. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you spending time with me. A big shout out to APT TV. I listened to your stream earlier today. Big shout out to Big J. Listened to your stream earlier today. Keep rocking, fellas. You know, there's more of us than it is of them. So we just got to continue to expose them. Char, let me, I know I'm going to keep talking, but I got to say this, but this was something that was on my head earlier. We've known each other for quite some time now. Would you say so?
Yes.
Work together. You know, I don't think there's a day go by that we don't communicate in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Would you agree?
Yes.
And a lot of the women that I know behind the scenes, we communicate with them behind the scenes as well. Correct?
Yes.
In all the years that you've known me, have I ever disrespected you?
No.
Have I ever talked under your clothes?
No.
That's the difference between us and them, Big J, APTV, Amari. Yeah, I hear Brownsville talking about don't lead with your tallywhacker. We don't. All right? We're men over here. And when we see a problem, if we can't fix it, at least make other folks aware of it. So that's why I do what I do here. I don't care if 1,000 people listen. I don't care if I have 2 million subs or 100 subs or whatever. I don't do this just for this is no disrespect to my audience, but I do this for prosperity. Because what I do now, it'll still be around 20 years from now if I do it right. Long after I'm gone. My grandchildren's can hear my voice. Bet they won't be embarrassed about what they hear. I bet they won't be embarrassed. JP, J Prince, Sharon, Brownsville, Angry Man, BGS, MOT. Can y'all say that? I think not. With that, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to, I'll see y'all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. in the Listening Lounge, Classic R&B Jams. And then on Monday night, the doctor is up off in the house. I got an interesting letter that was sent to me. So, jealousy. I don't need that bad talk around me. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. Be safe. Watch your 3, your 6, your 9. Say hello to someone. Might change the way they're thinking. Might change the way they're living. You never know. Walk past. Say hello. Let me give you my chop shop sign before I get out of here. I'm going to close that out. Where that? 2 more things. Fair use. Fair use. Anything that we used here. And good night, folks.